Bonsoir! Hello, 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 hello! How's everybody doing?
I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry.
That was just...
You had your head in the toilet, man.
Never mind. Welcome to another episode of The Mind and the Martyr. We are unfortunately down our wonderful Adam today, who is currently in the middle of nowhere, taking some well-deserved respite. We also have two very exhausted individuals after the fantastic 13-hour stream yesterday. We raised a whole bunch of money. As you can still see, I think the bars are still down on screen there.
Yep, I kept them.
Yeah, we raised a whole bunch towards RAIN and the Earth Day Network. We had some incredible games, some amazing folks to come and help us out. It was fantastic. It was a pleasure to sit in and be able to produce all the games. And there was just some serious chaos yesterday. You should definitely take a look at the VOD. Juncture was incredible. Delirium was creepy as all hell. I had to jump in and DM Elixir, which I've never touched that system before, so that was a very interesting and just chaotic time. And then the wonderful folks at iHunt did an amazing job with their game as well.
And the creator actually popped into chat and gifted the entire cast enamel pins.
And anyone who donated over $25 also got an iHunt pin as well. Thank you to Machine Age Games who did that for us.
Totally last minute too. So
we had no idea. We were as shocked as everyone else was.
It was just really cool. So that was awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And Dice Envy actually bumped us over our 1K goal by donating $500.
Oh yeah, with a huge $500 donation. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So
and a whole bunch of people got a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff from the giveaways as well. So yeah, just thank you all around. It was blooming amazing. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump in. Before we do so, however, we do have a few sponsors that keep the channel running and make sure that we can go ahead and keep doing wonderful charity events like that. First, I will mention the wonderful folks at So Nerdware. They do a whole bunch of incredible TTRPG-related paraphernalia, a whole bunch of amazing apparel, supporting... Yeah, there you go. There you go. Sean repping the merch there. Yeah, they support a whole bunch of different small streaming groups. You can find a whole bunch of themed merchandise or just general merchandise. Maddie is fantastic. Everyone over there is fantastic. And yeah, you can go ahead and throw in our promo code, which I always get the wrong way around, so I'm going to double check before I say anything. FRIENDS! Throw in the promo code FRIENDS for 10% off of your order on some Nerdware. Ty.
Well, we had a good run, didn't we, folks? We got far. We had dreams. We reached for them. Didn't quite get there, though. So, Demon Emporium is going to be temporarily shutting down. We'll be back probably sometime next year, around July, after some personal things are being rearranged. So other than that, though, we'll be kind of restructuring everything. With the COVID and everything, it just wasn't the best time to start a business that needed things delivered, turns out. So we'll be back later with some restructuring, refinding his things around. But as always, you know what? Take anything that you would have spent at Demon Emporium and just throw it at the wonderful, beautiful charities and all these wonderful, beautiful people you see here, the beautiful people. And yeah, that's all I got.
It's fine, if you speak it, you can't get DMCA'd. Yeah. We're still going to be bigging up Ty. We're still going to be bigging up DM Emporium, so that when you do kind of come back around to it, we're hoping that we can get right back on track there. Because Ty's wonderful and exciting! It's so exciting. Fantastic news. And yeah, hype. Our other sponsor are the wonderful folks at Grindin' Coffee. let's be honest, if you play TTRPGs, especially on stream, your sleep schedule probably is not the best. Even so, if you are someone like myself who plays in GMT when all of your wonderful friends play in American time zones.
Sorry.
So, coffee. Coffee is the elixir of life when it comes to both streaming TTRPGs and both combined. Grinding Coffee do a fantastic selection of various different flavors and blends, and they have some sampler packs as well. So if you're not 100% sold on a flavor, it could be great, it could be awful. It's always great. You can go ahead and grab a sample pack. I actually have some somewhere here. I've lost my cup, that's sad. I'll come back to it. Yes, I have some here. It tastes amazing. Go ahead and throw in the code FWRD. That is FWRD forward for 13% off of your order.
You're grinding through the day or grinding experience, Grinding Coffee.
And suddenly, Grinding Coffee have a slogan. Our last little thing. With the charity stream ended especially, and the support that they've given us during this charity event, we want to give a shout out to Emporium, who we are part of the streaming team for. They have a fantastically diverse range of just general streaming goodness for you, whether it be cosplay streams or games or other TTRPGs or literally anything you can think of. There are a whole bunch of fantastic creators, and you should 125% support all of them, always, all the time. We are super, super happy to be involved with them. A few of our members are actually going to be playing Among Us with a whole bunch of the Emporium folks on Saturday again, which is going to be amazing. It was so much fun the last time. And we are super, super, super excited to get involved in what they have planned. And we're super happy to be a part of them. Cool. Hello, friends. Thank you, Dax, for friends. That's it. We are friends who roll dice.
Friends who roll dice.
Love it, love it, love it. We're going to go ahead and dive right in here. Who is recapping what happened last episode?
I'm on it.
Thank you, a wonderful note keeper.
The lore master. Next says, Ray, you're a brat.
Yes, I am.
Oh my god, Dex, I love you. Okay, so last time on Ray, you're a brat. Okay. Last time on The Mind and the Martyr, we came back to Aridin being knocked out by Ton. And Jotra getting really upset about it. And apparently I had to be surprised or the spell wouldn't work. Aridin had some memories that have been so wonderfully redacted even in my notes because the players couldn't hear. So Aridin remembered some stuff. And what everyone else saw was a pair of wings that were her wings, but not her wings, and they looked perhaps angelic? Question marks. And as I wake up, I pulled Ton down and got some answers out of him, and then proceeded to feel bad about it, which was, on brand for Cole. And so then we went back to go check on Clinkin, where Jotra fixed him up a little bit more. So he remembered two robed figures while citizens were disappearing, but couldn't describe them any more than that. He asked us to go grab a book. It's his favorite book. And he can't grab it himself because he's a head on sticks. So we went to go grab this book in the secret study, which is super tiny. We were hoping to find his body. We did not. We found this book, and when Soup opened it, it talked at him. So he proceeded to, no, shut it, because why? While that's happening, Aridin goes to find Ton because she feels kind of bad for holding a knife to his throat when he was really just trying to help. And so they go through jobs, and Aridin found out some more information, such as she also hunted Ton down, so that happened, I guess. And Blink and Jotra check out the sword. Jotra asks her if she has a contract on us. Blink responded with, if I did, you would be dead. And that was the end of that conversation. Jotra sort of kind of like hints, if you squint, about maybe perhaps taking out a contract on one Matriana, but hey, who knows? He didn't really say it in that many words. So Jotra mentions that he likes having Blink around, and Blink has to stop for a second and kind of think to herself, do you? But before Blink can think too much about that, we are whisked away to the magic that is Soup's cooking. And Soup has a lot of really good food at his disposal and whips up an amazing dinner as per usual. He put Aridin in charge of making dessert, to which she panicked, and Soup handed Aridin a box of fantasy Betty Crocker Bix, probably. Whatever the Veka equivalent of that would be. So Jotra finds a golden parchment for some schematics for the crystal. So we might have a TPK soon. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So as we're sitting, it's fine. And so then Blink wants to play a drinking game. We proceed to play King's Cup on stream with some dice, and hilarity ensued. Everyone passes out so drunk, and Blink takes off in the night with the promise of until we meet again. And that is where we ended.
Indeed it was. Thank you very much, Cole, for the recap there. Note to anyone who is playing TTRPGs, always have a note taker. It is very, very important. Always. Especially if you're playing campaigns with me, because I make things horrendously convoluted. I'm so sorry.
There's just so much lore that I need to write down everything all the time, so I can be Charlie Day and take the string and connect the dots and just be like, I saw it.
Speaking of, I'm so sorry. Everyone make a con save for me.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's not terrible.
I realized that Veka had the Kool-Aid man, but okay, here we go.
I got a 16.
We don't. It's copyrighted.
16, yeah. 16 definitely passes.
25.
25 definitely passes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oren is good with an 18.
I'm so sorry. Everything just reloaded itself for literally no reason.
It's like,
We
I
love
like
to
this. Let's
see
do it
it.
again.
Technology, folks.
And now you suffer.
And,
Suffer the consequences.
It's a 12 plus 6, 18.
18 also passes. Okay, so you all managed to avoid too bad of a hangover. You're still a little buzzed, still a little achy, but all in all, you've done all right.
We don't take a point of exhaustion? Is that?
No. Yeah, you do all right. You wake up a little foggy-headed, but for the most part, together at least. Jotra, as you wake up, just beside you, you see a small envelope. As you go ahead and slowly lift the envelope and take a look inside, it appears to be filled with a crimson red dust.
Seem at all or spell component?
What an Arcana check. Okay. There are definitely similar components. This doesn't seem like one of them.
Mine's gone. What?
And Joe's just gonna just put it in his pocket. Yeah, seems to be. You okay, Soup?
He's gone.
He like just like around the house. Yeah, looking.
I
For
can't
Bucky.
believe Adam did that in pose. Legend. A
Comes back
legend.
and it's just like, nope, she's gone.
That's all right. Still got us, right?
I'm thirsty. He goes to the kitchen. Just like
And Joe's just gonna he's gonna look out a window and be like, ah, God. Oh, it's coffee time. He's gonna go get coffee and bring Aridin a cup of coffee as well.
Oh, thank you.
You notice his cup is like.
I would expect nothing less.
You're 3 times taller than him, roughly.
It's fine. So, where do we go next then?
We got an appointment to make. He looks at his wrist. I don't know what time it is.
Oh, Jojo pulls out a pocket watch. What's the appointment for?
Sally.
Points at the sword.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. Looking at the sword, it reminds me. And I'm going to touch it, and I'm gonna cast non-detection on it. So you see a rune light up on the hilt, and as it dissipates, it sort of like encases the sword and like settles into it, kind of like a shield around it.
Okay.
Soup runs to the library. He's running everywhere now.
Yeah, he just runs. That's it. He just wants an excuse to run, really.
Oh my god, he's Sonic! He's Sonic the Hedgehog!
Hedgehog.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
You're too slow.
What are you after in the library, Soup?
Soup is going to look for a book on sewing.
Okay. It's going to take you a little while, as, you know, the owner of this place is a warforged, and clothes aren't exactly, you know, his thing. But you do find one that appears to be kind of just a basics on techniques and different stitches that you can do in order to hold clothes together. It seems more practical than decorative.
He'll take that and then look for a needle and thread. See if he can find some.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. 17.
Okay. It's going to take you a little while, but in one of the servers' quarters, you do find a weaver's kit.
Who, what?
A weaver's kit.
Oh, weaver's kit. I heard a wee biscuit.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes,
is
you
that
found it.
slang for something?
Very small.
Found a wee biscuit, me lad.
Did you just like go full English on me there? Like I lost you.
A weaver's kit.
Weaver's kit. Okay. He takes that.
I love it.
All right. That is actually a thing that a lot of people forget in many systems. A lot of anything that is not like a tinker's kit or a disguise kit, people seem to forget about. Yes, you now have a weaver's kit and a book on possibly weaving. Kind of.
While Soup's doing that, Aridin is going to head over to the Magic Arnhem building.
Okay.
And I want to find potential materials to get my cat back. Charcoal and incense.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. And paper.
Investigation
And
check
paper
from-
and ink.
Jotra
An
will
investigation check
assist.
from you as well, please.
Jotra
Okay.
will assist her.
With advantage.
Uh, 21.
Okay. With Jotra's help, you find enough for 2 casts. You also managed to find around about 23 gold.
And 2 Casper find familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And do I
Enough for
find
2
paper and
casts.
ink to copy down spells? I forgot how that works. I know I need fancy ink.
It is 50 gold per level of spell that you are copying. So it's 50 gold's worth of materials.
Does that increase as the spell increases?
Yeah, so like level 2 would be 100 gold, level 3 150 gold, level 4 and so on and
Heck!
so forth.
I don't know what level.
At least
What
3.
did I
No, I'm just
get?
kidding.
You definitely did
Invisibility, I
see
think, is 2.
Soup or put in his bag ink and parchment from Clinken's study.
Also true. I have. What the heck is the spell that I got? Hypnotic
Hypnotic gaze or hypnotic pattern.
pattern. Oh, that's a 3rd level. Ouch.
So it'd be
super powerful.
150 gold's worth of materials, which I can tell you would not be in here.
Okay.
You would find about 50 gold's worth of materials
Okay.
for
okay.
copying spells. And that
Cool, I'll
is
take that.
literally because you got over 20.
Yeah. I'll
You
take
are like-
that helps.
You
That
are
helps.
scrounging like sections of parchment and like the tiniest bit of ink from each
Listen.
well, just trying to.
Being a wizard is expensive. I'm gonna take that $50 gift card. Thank you.
Hey, reduce, reuse, recycle. Like that's what you gotta do.
At some point while all this is going on, Jotra is going to, he's going to think about it, and he's going to get he's going to cast Arcane Lock on, oh, my brain is just dead. I'm sorry. On Calamos's back, so that nothing can open it except for him with the password.
Okay.
Nice. Smart. Damn smart.
Also, random note to self, I want to make a toilet wizard that has an entire spell book made of toilet paper. I want to do that
It's
now.
in here, so
Why?
desperate.
Because you're
Why?
reduce, reuse, recycle, just maybe. Like, where would you get you're like, let's get paper in an unexpected place. Like, toilet wizard. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm a wizard, however, my carbon footprint is 0.
Oh my
And
god.
yours
So
can
like
be
1
too.
ply toilet paper too? Like, or how cheap are we going?
Oh, it's gonna be septic tank safe. So if you get water on it, your entire spell book's gone.
My lord. Okay.
Anyway.
So you have cast Arcane Lock on Calamos. You still have the created thingy in your inventory, and you are also helping Eredin gather materials. Okay, cool. Sean, what's Soup doing?
What is Soup doing?
Once they got the book and everything.
Soup is reading the book and trying to embroider the boots. So he takes the boots off and is trying to embroider into the side a needle and thread.
Okay. This would be a Weaver's Tools check. So if you are not proficient, it will be with disadvantage.
He is definitely not. He's probably going to use his crossbow pull to like yank the the needle through this like probably leather, I would imagine.
Okay.
Like punch it and then pull. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Roll a d4 for me real quick.
Roll a d4. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to leave this to the dice.
That is a 3.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check with disadvantage.
Dexterity check. Disadvantage. Okay.
Because I don't think you're proficient in Weaver's Tools.
No, he's definitely not. That is a 13.
Okay. It doesn't look fantastic, but it has the vague look of what you're going for. And you know what?
Perfect.
That's pretty good. That's good enough. It's a little janky in places, just a little bit, but you've got the point across. You're pretty satisfied.
Get it, because it's a needle. Anyway, thank you.
Oh my god.
The needle point across.
I can't. I actually have a question for the DM. Because I don't usually play these kinds of characters.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted, so basically I'm casting, my plan going forward is casting non-detection on the sword basically at all times, and I don't want to use that spell slot. How would researching into, like, I think there's like a wand that holds a spell slot, if I wanted to like make one of those, like a wizard's tinkering check.
It's not a wand, it's a ring. It's a ring of spell storing.
Okay.
These are, I'd say, like, they are somewhere between uncommon and rare. They're a little bit kind of in the middle when it comes to that side of things. Roll an intelligence check for me.
Can I assist with this at all?
No, because this is me judging whether Eredin would actually remember if these things exist.
That's fair. 14. I hate this middle of the road garbage.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about this kind of technology.
I have like that thought in my head though. Like, is there, like, Eredin's thinking more, I wonder if I can make this thing.
It's a practicality that's like gnawing at your mind, but you don't know about any specific or particular items. You would have to talk to someone who is better versed in creating items than you.
What's Jotra doing?
Like who?
Jotra's just helping you look for his stuff. He cast his Arcane Lock, which is super quick and easy. He's helped you look and find bits of scraps of paper. So I imagine at this point he's probably like pouring one ink bottle into another, marrying the two bottles, being like,
and Eredin's like setting up things to start casting Find Familiar, and while she's like going through her book, hey Jotra, Do you know if there's a way to... I don't know if this is something that you did. I know you make a lot of things. Is there a way to make something that could hold a spell?
Yeah, spell storing item. That shouldn't be too hard. Rings are not common, but not super rare. They're not like you don't have to go diving into dungeons for them, but the right shop will have one. It won't be cheap, but I'm sure we can find you one.
I'd like to look for something like that.
Definitely.
Ton was
research
saying
to see if I can make some.
that I'd help you look into it if it's something that we could make. I gesture to Valeriki's sword. Ton was saying that she's gonna want it back. And the only reason she hasn't come for it is because she's probably weakened.
Did weaken her quite a bit. You know who does have a spot where it's not really on this plane, and it kind of, well, he's already opens Pavasari's mouth.
Pick up the sword and I'll give it to Pavasari.
I'm sorry, sword swallows.
I think keeping that sword away from her is, I think the best thing we can do.
Can't change shape or anything, can she?
She was using a seeming spell. Oh, it's interesting. When she showed up for the first time, she was disguised as, well, who we assumed was Ophelia. Ophelia's dead.
Oh.
I actually learned.
Isn't it the Greyshields like some big family? No, that's the Drake. Dead. Well, you think she'll...
She actually, she died for me, actually.
So?
I hesitated. I think it was during when we were Ishton. It was during that.
I can see hesitation, not a... Well, it was her choice. Clearly she thought there was something worth saving.
Maybe. I'm gonna hand Jotra also a piece of paper as you're asking me that, and it's all the names of the Lunas Suritas. Todd and I were talking. Do you recognize any of those names?
You would not.
Not really, unfortunately. There's another Azenti on here, but we already knew.
Yeah.
Do we recognize any ancestral names or like names that I would associate with like, you know, like dwarves, elves, or dragons?
I point to Parla Circule.
Palisacule.
That's Ton's mother.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And turns out we hunted Ton at some point.
How did he get away?
They called it off.
They can call it off?
I guess. I didn't get more details, but...
We can find out why they call it off for him. Maybe we can get him to call him off for us. Although if they want that original rock back, that's going to be hard. Broken.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just a lot of information.
Which parts do you think are still you? If any? They don't have to be anymore. You're rebuilding. And choose which pieces to put back in. Or leave. Beautiful thing about constructs. Make better one. I mean, there's been 3 versions of Warforged alone. There'll be more versions of Eridan, right?
I guess it kind of makes me feel better that I hesitated and that I actually didn't get put on a lot of jobs after that first time. The next job they put me on was the one that I'll hold up my prosthetic hand.
Well,
So
you already got 2 new pieces. Well, that's good. That means there's always been one part of you that seems to be based in kindness. It wants to know there's some sense of justice beyond duty. At least is thinking for herself. There's a good foundation there. Not building on top of clay or sand or anything. It's untenable. I mean, you saved me. You didn't have to.
you had that fight. I just helped.
No, it absolutely did not.
Thank you, Jotra.
I didn't do anything.
Just being you.
Well, thank you for just being you. At least we both got it kind of easy. There's worse things. Can you imagine trying to be a leader? Oof.
No, I'm okay. No.
Who knows? Maybe we can even build beyond that and be like, heroes or something.
Do
Find out
what?
what heroes. There's bad stuff happening. We have clues. We can figure it out. I mean, it's a long shot for us, but I mean, gotta. If we stood up to the jerks already, not just keep doing that.
I do want to know what's going on with the ship and everything.
When powerful people do bad things, I mean, you keep doing it if no one says, "Hey, knock it off," and takes them.
Eridan's gonna smile before grinding up the charcoal. Going around with the incense and the spell takes 10 minutes to cast, yeah? Oh, it's an
Yep.
hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Jojo will draw lines and stuff in chalk and with the whole ritual. Can't wait to see our therapy.
Yeah, I guess we take that time to cast Find Familiar.
Mm-hmm. If there is anything else Joshua would like to do during that time, let me know. Soup, is there anything else that you would like to do during this time?
Soup, once he finishes his crafting project, is going to grab all of their stuff and kind of set it on. I don't know. I'm trying to think. We still destroyed his door, didn't we? Go ahead and just finish taking one of the doors off its hinges and use that as a sled. Just kind of stick all their stuff on it. Put Clinkin on top of everything, and then just try to drag it slowly but surely toward the Magicana building, which would probably take, an hour or so.
You go ahead and begin to drag it, and as you begin to kind of go ahead and pull this, you hear dunk, 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 as Clinkin's head rolls down, then onto the ground.
Oh.
His little stick legs kind of freaking out before slowly, like a turtle kind of trying to right itself. It just goes, "Ugh. Ruffians trying to take me away from my house. Off with you." You see his little His little stick arms go to adjust a suit that's not there out of habit. He just goes ahead and rubs a little stick through his beard, and then turns. And you hear the angry marching of just.
Oh, Clinkin, no.
Soup looks back at Clinkin. He thinks for a moment about grabbing him, and he's like, nah. He just keeps going. At this point, he's taking the boots off, and they are on the sled, and so he's not quite as fast.
Okay. That'll probably take you the majority of the time, I think. Yeah. Sorry, Jojo, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think Jojo's going to see if he can find new heart for Calamos. Switching around. See if they have any gem worth 50 gold.
There are a few components that have been left behind. However, gems unfortunately don't seem to be one of them.
And then we didn't see any like jewelry shops or anything. That.
No, this area is kind of far too poor for that, realistically.
Yeah.
I just realized something. So in the middle of dragging all that stuff, Soup suddenly realizes that he still has Clinkin's book. And he turns around and goes back. He doesn't take the stuff with him. He leaves it right where it's at. He goes back and is like, Clinkin!
They're back! The ruffians are back! Oh, it's you.
I know, ruffian. That book, your favorite book.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it your favorite?
It just makes me laugh, is all. Can't possibly be true. I mean, gosh. Have you seen the name of the individual who wrote it? It's ridiculous.
What was the name?
SBK was on the front of it.
Okay. He just kind of looks puzzled at him and he goes, think I could borrow it? I brought your other book back.
It's true. It's very true. I suppose that would be acceptable, especially since you didn't leave me to bleed out a horrible, oily death.
He takes it out, like, shows it to him, kind of hefts it for a second, is like, appreciate it. He puts it back in his bag.
Okay.
You get up them stairs, all right?
I'll be fine. Whoever you are. Then he carries on.
Back to carrying the stuff. Looks back every once in a while to make sure that he hasn't fallen over.
As you're leaving, you just hear, as he's like slowly pulling. Have you seen? Have you seen? It's that scene in Toy Story where they're making their way up the stairs. And they're just.
Yeah. Okay.
He's doing an alright job of it. Not particularly fast, but he's clambering up alright. He's doing okay.
All right. Then he's just gonna go straight for the Magicana building and see what his friends are doing.
Mm-hmm. At this point, you can go ahead and head in just as you see the spell complete and the sudden wisp of the charcoal that has been burning begins to take a familiar form as out of this smoke a small Tressim lands on the ground and kind of chirps a little as it looks around. As it begins to get its bearings, it turns notices Eridan and just jumps straight into her arms.
Yay.
Scritch, scritch, scritch.
You have your familiar back.
I
Ashtalora
have my
is
familiar back. Ashtalora.
Ashtalora is here.
Miss Hole again.
Do we hear Soup dragging?
It would probably be about that, like, a Soup has kind of opened the door to the Magicana building just as this has kind of happened. You have heard a strange dragging noise for the past few minutes.
Give Ashtalora a scritch and look to the door.
Sits down.
It peeks out. Oh, hey, Soup. What a nice sled. Pav can help with that, and he runs back inside and comes back on Pavasari.
He just kind of like,
Pull it all the way here? It's nice of you to put Orin on top.
He looks back at Orin and it's just like, I'm sure Orin just.
No, Orin is still asleep. Orin is taking the chance to go ahead and get a nap in at this point. You have not seen him all morning until you went ahead and pulled him onto this sled.
That's amazing. What is on the sled?
Just all of your stuff. All of our stuff.
All
Your
of
stuff
my
and your monk.
and your monk. Oh, I love it.
Soup just like sits down and just kind of heaves. He's just like,
I guess we could put some of this back in Pavasari now. He kind of starts
I'm
taking
gonna
bedrolls.
take my water skin and give it to Soup.
he just opens his gullet and there's no swallowing involved. It just all goes down. He hands it back to you. Thanks.
I'm so sorry. Would have helped you carry it. You didn't have to do that by yourself.
You got any books in this place?
Yeah, actually, there's a really interesting section. I was actually thinking of you. This section over here, and I'm gonna walk over with Soup to a particularly interesting. I hope there's books in that. You're not gonna
He's
tell
just
me that there's
looking
not.
Anything magic theory related. That is all he would be interested in from this place.
Yes. Roll an investigation check.
Oh, Lord.
Me or him.
Find adulations of prestidigitation.
With advantage, because
That helps.
because Eridan's helping you.
That helps because that first roll was terrible. Second roll was much better. That is 15.
Okay. You find a few just general books, really. There's a lot of what appear to be agricultural, agricultural related magics here, all about trying to grow and preserve things and be able to transmute and manipulate them in order to, what you would assume, attempt to change the land to something that can be fertile, considering the damage that has been done to this particular area. You see a lot about, strangely, about like basic magic training. There's not a lot here based on combat or anything like that. It's definitely more focused around the general startings of magic and a lot about transmutation. There's also some fictional things, a few books which catch your eye for the entirely wrong reasons. And that's about it.
I won't ask what those reasons are.
Every bookshelf must have smut. It's a rule.
I was going to just leave him in the dark. I'm like,
Oh,
so
God.
what is Soup magically interested in? You'll never know.
Halflings, full men.
This is taking a stretch.
Wow. Okay. So
there's
anyway,
I was going to say, there's one called The Binding of My Runes, which is entirely different than what you would expect it to be.
Yeah, I can see him. He's like, oh, he opens it up. He goes, oh, okay.
Draconic, but not platonic.
Oh, jeez. Make it stop. Make it stop.
God damn it. God damn it.
So he grabs those and he looks at Aridin and he goes, you helped me a lot.
I try to.
Thanks. Glad you got your kitty.
Thank you too.
He looks at you confused. Why?
For sticking around, for helping us out.
Shrugs and walks away.
Aridin smiles and heads back over. Probably to where Jotra and our sleeping monk are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go ahead and head there. Orin is still kind of passed out on the sled. This will probably be your last opportunity to grab anything from Yilton before you go ahead and set off. If there is anything you would like to do or anything you would like to grab, now is the time before you set out on your journey to go and meet with Sally.
So I have, I'm guessing at this point I've ransacked all places that remotely have anything metal or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess there's not a whole, there's how many people are here that are left?
What do you mean?
Like
How
in the
many
Magic
people are in
Island
Yilton? Yeah.
There are you folks, and there is the individuals that went to the basement that Torn left and you haven't seen since.
They
Yeah,
haven't come out?
We'll go check on them.
Yeah, let's go check on them. Just real quick.
Okay?
I would like to say I ransacked the kitchen.
I was gonna say take as much food as we can, but if there's people here, I don't want to leave them without food. Obviously.
Yep, you can go ahead and ransack the kitchen, grab a bunch of food. Jotra, there is enough kind of scraps to have enough for you to go ahead and tinker some smaller things. Probably nothing massively substantial, but there's enough kind of scrap material left around.
Is there going to be enough? So while we're like kind of moving around, like I can tinker out Soup a watch.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I want to make it a watch on one side and a compass on the other. Because Soup keeps checking his wrist, and he's like, "Where are we going?" And so,
that's neat. I like that.
it.
I like that.
I love
Okay.
that.
Cool. So you can go ahead and be tinkering this during the kind of hour that the familiar was being resummoned. So we can go ahead and say that you're pretty much done with that, and it's on your person at this point.
Soup, I made you something. I saw you checking your wrist this morning, and here, and he hands you a watch.
He looks at it.
So so you can you wear it a few different ways. So you can take the chain all the way around and wrap it around so it'll stick to your wrist, and then you can flip it around for the compass and then flip it around for the time, or you can unhook it and then he kind of like looks at Soup trying to figure out, do you have any pockets? It tells
Ain't gonna blow up on me, is it?
no electrical charges, no magic, no gunpowder, no nothing that can explode. In fact, it's just spring powered. You have to wind it. He kind of shows you to wind the top.
Just like snatches it. It's like, thanks.
Super suspect.
You're welcome.
Looks at it, winds it up, watches it work, looks at you. Did good. Works good.
I love it. Soup likes us.
I wouldn't overstate
Soup likes us.
He's still afraid Jotra's gonna kill everyone. Which is valid fear.
Especially with that schematic that we don't know about yet.
What schematic? Schematic.
Da-da-da-da.
That's cool.
Aridin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was gonna say we should go check on Harridan.
Aridin, as you head downstairs, it's one of those spiral staircases that are just slightly longer than they need to be, really. You go ahead and take a few steps down. You don't hear any sound coming from the room downstairs. You can see the small flicker of blue light coming from the room. As you step all the way down, this appears to be some kind of almost a meditation hall. It's a very open and empty room with what appears to be layers of mats and incense and other such strange small objects, candles, gongs, that kind of thing. You see what appears to be a broken and damaged teleportation circle that was hastily drawn into the ground. There's no individuals down there.
Okay. Is there anything in this room?
Candles, gongs, mats,
Oh, like that's it. Like there's
bowls
no
of
books
water.
or-
Nope. Entirely empty. The good news, no black powder.
Okay, so they probably left. I'm gonna ask Tom about it though. I'm gonna head upstairs. And if Jotra and Soup were heading towards me, I'm gonna look at them and just there's no one down there.
What'd you find?
There's a teleportation circle, but everyone's gone.
That makes. Well, maybe we can use it to follow. Well, I don't know.
It's broken, yeah.
You all see Eridan come up out of this building, and indeed, there is no one there. It appears that they may or may not have used this cracked teleportation circle on the ground.
Think Ton destroyed it to cover their tracks so that way they could get away.
Maybe.
Did anybody see Ton this morning?
I talked to him last night. I
Sticks
don't...
his out of the door. Ton!
Just echoes as this entire city is still very empty.
Oh, we need you! There's no one left in this party!
I summon thee!
We have become Roanoke. Anyway.
That would be terrifying, though. Like, real talk.
Well,
time to go.
time to go.
I was gonna leave like a note for Tom, but if he wanted to find us, he can find us. I have sending, so I can. I'll just bombard him with messages. I'll be Jester, but like less awkward about it.
Lord.
You're welcome.
I had a game where I did that to a guy who stole my horse. Give me my horse back, give me my horse back, give me my horse back. It was great. Never steal a cleric's horse.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, you go. Ooh, I didn't mean to roll that dice. Don't panic.
I was like, oh, why are you rolling all those dice?
I don't like that.
Had a bit of dice and just rolled through.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I
It
guess,
was an accident.
You know what? I guess I will. No, never mind. I'm not going to send Ton a message because I don't have that many third level spell slots. So we're going to save that.
Okay. Okay. So, go ahead and collect yourselves. Look through this still empty city that was once bustling and full. It's still jarring, even now. With a few days to mull it over, it's still strange. After all, there were so many individuals here at first, and now an eerie silence. As slowly but surely Pavasari, faster than Soup at least, is going ahead and pulling whatever is left on the sled. You suddenly hit a small bump and you see it. I'm up. Oh, Jesus.
Best Orn impression ever.
Oh, I thought it was. I was like, are we inserting Tobias into this? It's like, Tobias? What are you
you're
doing
treating
here?
They're both Irish, so yeah, it makes sense.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, cool. Okay, I'll roll with this. Anyway.
Orin kind of looks down at Pavasari and just, you could have given us a smoother ride, lad. All right, hello, I'm up. Last night was a lot.
Okay.
Are you feeling okay? I'm not going to even wait for him to answer. Ashlora's already fluttering over with the water skin in her mouth.
He immediately just grabs it and just a huge gulp down. Just, wait a moment. There we go. All right.
Pietro's gonna hand him a piece of cloth to tie over his face.
Yeah.
So he can just go back to sleep. It's okay, we've got you. You were hit a little harder than the rest of us, it looks like.
Hey, well, what's the plan? What are we...
Head out to make our date with the sword identifier. Remember the changeling?
Oh, right. I remember Aridin saying... All right,
So we're going to go
I'm
meet
just-
with Sally, and then that gives us... I guess we can talk about what we want to do after that.
Sounds like a plan. It's a bit of a distance, though, isn't it? As he lies down and kind of puts his hands behind his head, gets a little more comfortable on the sled.
It's about a week.
He has seen better days.
Ray, I
We'll
did
figure
need to
it out,
ask,
Orin.
is that carriage still there? Or wagon?
Well, as you begin to have this conversation and you head to the gate, the first thing you see is indeed an intact wagon. You see Torn the Shifter currently pulling on some ropes and fastening down what appears to be this glowing kind of spectral blue horse that appears to be attached to this carriage.
Fancy steed you got there.
What is that?
What is that?
Oh, that's ingenious.
What's an ingenious?
What's in a genius?
Well, no, I don't know the name of it. It's Tom, help me out.
Oh.
This is Cantor. He has been my friend for a long time. We are able to pull on spirits of creatures that are good to this world. Sometimes they will agree to assist us. There are cruder ways of summoning creatures, but think of it more as a pact, an agreement that we make between these creatures and ourselves. We do not wish any ill on them. They are not simply tools to be used, so we like to keep a sort of friendship with them.
So you're their patron. It's neat.
Don't quite understand patron, but all right.
Horse ghost. Got it.
Yeah. Todd's head just sinks slightly into his hands as he rubs across his temple.
Where are you headed?
I'm not entirely sure. My plans have been rather derailed as of late. At the very least, I thought... He gestures kind of towards the wagon. I know you'll be going somewhere, so I had this set up for you.
What were your plans? No harm sharing them now, right?
No, I suppose not. Make sure Aridin was safe. Make sure that you all weren't hunted. And then once I knew that there was no longer an interest in you, hopefully gain enough of an interest in me that they will be distracted.
That's a dangerous
them?
game to play.
Why do you want them to come and get you?
So that they don't get hurt.
Awful lot
simple
of
game
investment
of-
for somebody you met a couple weeks ago.
I think we've known each other longer than that.
You know, maybe just a little.
I know Aridin. Has she told you?
She told me what you told her, but none of that explains what you described.
Oh, fuck. Soup's even
gap
more
in knowledge.
confused.
Yes, I was just about to say. Soup's like, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. Can we just get on the wagon?
Oh, shoot. Yes. I have a lot to fill you in on, I guess. I'm sorry, Soup. I didn't want to say anything in front of Blink, and I think she kind of caught on anyway, and...
Full enough, thank you.
Huh?
Like this morning.
Damn it.
You can't leave him those gaps. You know it's gonna happen. Jotra kind of looks over to Soup. He kind of gives him one of these like.
Right.
Why do you make sure we keep our promises there, Tom? Follow us.
What promise are you keeping?
Huh?
I feel like Aridin might pull a Jotra and really fast explain everything to Soup. Just like, okay, so here's the thing. This happened and then this happened, but then we were talking about this and we were talking about that, and blah, 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 blah.
A small smirk comes across Torn's face as he goes, Oh god, there's two of them.
He looks back and forth between you and Jotra and goes, "You've been spending too much time with him."
What?
Judge just big smile.
Sorry.
I got it.
That's your language. I don't speak that.
It's common. Come on.
Just about.
Maybe I just ain't good enough at it.
Now that we all know that, you were hunted by your mom, who's part of the thing that she was part of, how did you get away?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Great difficulty. I
Had some help?
managed to cause enough chaos that it became too expensive, let's say, to continue to hunt me. The funny thing is, when you have one of the members as your mother, you learn a few tricks. You learn how they work and how they operate, and so you learn how to fight them.
Still sorry about that.
I don't know. The way he acts, I think you helped him more than it. Am I right, Tom?
I wouldn't know for sure, but every single member of the Soritas is far more powerful than myself. You could have gotten me a few times if you wanted to.
Told you. Good base.
I cannot read your mind. I don't know the past, so I can't tell you for sure. I can only tell you my personal experience.
Can't tell you either. Anyway, we have business. There was a cleric here. She was very interested in Matriana's sword and the magic behind it. I get the feeling giving it to her is a bad idea, but also it kind of does get it off our hands. But also I'd like to keep it away from Matriana, if we can help it.
I see.
I'm gonna try to figure out some of its secrets along the way, but if you can help me know anything about these, something special or a type of magic or a school of magic or something about the runes that you can help us kind of interpret or figure out along the way. Because the deal was, if we can figure it out, we can keep it, but she helped us figure it out in the first place. If we need her help again,
I think my biggest worry is spreading around secrets like that. That's dangerous.
Yep. It's not like I'm going to be in any more danger from them.
I mean, we could say we lost it. She doesn't know that Pavasari gestures to the floating bag of holding.
Well, yeah, but we did make a promise with the deal with somebody. We should keep it.
I know.
That's why we got to figure it out on the way there. Then we can just tell her what we learned and keep the sword.
Just break it.
Really hard to break.
I'm not going to do that again.
I'll see if I can figure out a way to break it.
Could be a really bad idea. You were muted, Ty.
Oh, it could be a terrible idea.
Silent danger, giving it to her. Might be mad if I break it.
we have a
What you
week to
think?
decide.
Erden.
Hmm?
Why you won't keep it?
I know she needs it. If she doesn't have it, she's not as strong. If fighting styles in the Luna Soritas are the same, she needs a sword to cast spells. My sword is my focus.
That's how that works.
Sort of, anyway. It's more complicated than that. Each sword has a promise. It's, yeah, keeping it away from her is, I think, in our best interest. I also think giving it to Sally puts her in danger. Because Matriana's looking for it. I plan on casting non-detection on it as often as I can.
Doctor, if you figure out a way to break that thing, make sure you're far away from me when you try it.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't. Okay, that's fair.
We'll figure something out.
Always do.
Thank you for the bits there, Nimble the Bard. That's very much appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
As you're going ahead and discussing this, you've noticed that Torn is beginning to pack what little you still have on the sled, and he begins to kind of walk over and just kind of tilts for a moment.
I'll help with soup. Let's get Orin. He kind of goes and picks up Orin by his
He
shoulder.
doesn't handle things well, does he? And
no, he does. He
he,
just-
he reaches down, you just hear, I can hear you, you daft bastard. Shush!
Oh my god.
Is the wagon covered?
It is a covered wagon, yes.
Okay, good.
It's not in the best shape. It's definitely seen better days, and you can see splatters of what appears to be Kruthic blood
I go over
along sections
and-
and sides of the wagon.
and use mending and kind of sharpen it up so we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also, if I can find any like tar-like substance, I'm going to see if I can paint the top of it with tar so it'll block some sunlight and also weather it a little bit. If there's anything around in time to.
Okay. I don't think you'll have enough time to find some tar. However, you could go ahead and use kind of a dust covering
Sure.
from like the dirt on the ground and go ahead and kind of pad that over just a little bit, just to try and kind of stave off a little bit of that heat.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's definitely something you can do. Torn kind of taps Cantor on the side and just, well, we have a journey. A long one. The town of Keen will be our first stop-off point.
What was that name again?
Keen. Q-I-N.
Oh, that's not how I spelled it.
Autocorrected to Keanu. Town of Keanu.
Yes!
Will be our
The
first
town of
stop.
Keanu!
The first stop is Keanu Reeves. Yes.
Hello, we're totally going to welcome you to our town.
Welcome to the BBEG.
I mean, honestly, the man is a vampire.
There's a time traveling school. Lots of puppy dogs everywhere and cool cars.
You're going to love it.
Lordy.
And lots
Hi.
of sunglasses. People going, whoa. That's how they say hi.
Whoa. Wow. Wow.
Can we please make this place?
Don't give him ideas. He will.
It exists
He's a
somewhere.
monster.
It exists somewhere now. Somewhere. Some strange campaign is going to show up at some point with the town of Keanu.
Bo.
Along with the
Hey.
toilet paper wizard who's just gotten there. You're like,
No, Keanu is a toilet paper wizard. That's
it's like green.
Wizard. No.
Oh gosh.
Gotta be careful
Hey,
though. You
Typo.
can't poke a hole.
So every time that wizard gets a kill, it's a TPK, right?
Yes. Who does it better? Nobody.
All right, so it's been fun. Thank you for joining us. And damn it, just
I'm
goddamn
just
it.
gonna roll
Psychic
some
damage?
psychic
Psychic
damage.
damage?
Yeah, that's a 4 for me.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. No more. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Don't
Apologize.
lie. Don't lie to me.
Until later, I'm done.
Okay, give it 5 minutes.
Torn is set and ready to go when you are.
We are also set and ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. As you go
we-
ahead and go on.
No, go ahead.
As you go ahead and get yourself set onto the wagon, Torn appears to be shifting a little bit more left, going towards one of the other gates, which leaves this kind of broken wasteland area. You still see in the distance the thick black smoke of what was once Zertain. And after a few taps to Cantor and a small whinny, onwards you go. You will probably arrive at Keen probably around dusk, probably just before dusk, actually, as people are beginning to wrap up their kind of daily chores and whatnot. Is there anything on the journey you would like to do?
Yes.
Sword. Reference it with anything else inside of the book. I'm gonna pick Ton's brain. I'm gonna, if I can glean any of its magic sources. Also determine like what fighting style it's used best with. It's the one that we saw, or if it's that it's a little better for, that sort of thing. It's holding.
Yes.
So you're having a chat with Torn, and Torn will go ahead and tell you what he knows. So as he's looking across it, he kind of looks towards Eridan. Do you remember? Do you remember how they work?
Just aside from, I know songs are different. I learned recently that your song will not work on another sword, and you will be cursed.
So not a lot. Okay.
No.
I do not know the specifics, but I can tell you this. And he leans forward and points across the runes on Matrana's sword. There are two forces which control everything in this world. The primordial constant and the arcane constant. Spells and magic, natural, divine, or arcane, pull from one or the other. Where both of these constants meet is the mortal realm. This magic is one of the few kinds that is able to pull from both at the same time. It is not fully an arcane spell. It draws energy from Well, the Soritas would say that it draws energy from Nyceria herself. You do not sing a song. That is not what you do. You sing a promise. A promise is given by each member to the blade itself. This gives the blade its power. When your promise is fulfilled, a Soritas is considered complete. This is one of those.
Complete?
Matrana has lived for a very, very long time, but her promise is not yet fulfilled.
Wait. We translated her promise. It was just confidence. It was protectum eternum, correct? Confidence of purpose, confidence of self. So, your entire lifetime, she's never learned. Sad. Wasn't horrible.
I disagree. She seemed pretty cocky to me.
Maybe she's not confident in the purpose that's assigned to her? Who makes the decisions for the Sarita?
I don't know, unfortunately.
Eldest? I mean, sisterhood.
I think it sounded like to me that because before it was the Order of the Crimson Wood and Lunas Soritas, one serving Saya, other serving Nyceria. It sounded like when things sort of got convoluted and lost, I don't think the Lunas Soritas are listening to Nyceria anymore. That's what it sounded like to me.
Started maybe selling their prowess, not having a direction to go when Nyceria had to retreat. And then, so with her retreating into the moon, they were kind of aimless and had a very good set of skills that would do very well for assassins, law keepers. So what if they bound themselves to a new entity, like finding a new purpose without their original purpose?
Who's hunting down? Who wants sorcerers hunted down?
I mean, there'd be the Magicon. Oh. Bind yourself to the Magiconum and become kind of like this long arm of the law for the Magiconum. Is that correct? Do they work for the Magiconum or just anybody who can?
I don't
Or
think anyone knows.
nods.
Magiconum. Okay. So then it's all based on this idea that Magiconum, they guard power, they guard knowledge, and supposedly to help distribute it to those who put in the such a control mechanism that I wonder if they were forced to or disband.
Was Matriana, was she around when, I don't know how long ago that the Magicanum started utilizing the order?
Neither do I. But Matrana has been in charge for a very, very, very long time.
Are we looking at like 1,000 years?
She is old.
Jotra's going to try to do a mental her to see if he can remember any tattoos, any particular scars or anything on her shield that was originally disguised before. Sherlock Holmes it.
All right, roll an investigation check.
All right, here we go.
We'll say straight intelligence. Actually.
Straight in.
It's not,
All right.
it's not quite history, but it's also not quite investigation either. It's like, intelligence.
So 14 plus
Make a
5,
memory
that
check.
is a 19.
Okay.
Hey, we love to see it.
You're picturing this older, yet still serene elven individual in your head. This woman indeed is heavily scarred with the signs of possibly either constant or incredibly taxing battles. The shield itself had no specific regalia when she was in disguise. Her body herself, apart from the scarring of what appears to be sword and magic wounds, doesn't turn up anything particular in your memory. No branding, no tattoos, nothing along those lines. Her face is recognizable, but you wouldn't be able to think of anything specific in terms of something that you could link to something else, let's say.
Rich is gonna walk up to Erden. He's gonna tap her forehead. Does anybody else have those?
I look at Ton.
Ooh. Your mother have one?
One other member does.
The other.
Esther.
I do not know her name. Not her full name, but Esther, indeed. You recognize the name more than I do.
Are you a twin? Maybe something like, because
Maybe.
there might be something in your blood that is of Nassyria or has a link to her, or you built a link with her. That's why when you came out of your whatever Ton did to you, you had your spectral wings, which are a copy of your given genetic wings, and then you also had kind of a bit of moon glow as well. I think, what if you have some sort of genetic line to the original Sororitas, and maybe that's why they collected you, and maybe that's why you got away with a little bit more hesitation and things than other sisters that had been kicked out, and maybe that's why instead of killing you or anything like that, they wiped your memory instead. I don't know. It's all speculation, but if you have somebody who's genetically similar, like, do you remember? Did you ever see what Esther looked like?
That was a lot of information to digest. Torn's like, just watching you, it's like, it's impressive that he doesn't need to breathe as much as everybody else does.
Sorry, I forget to.
Oh, fuck, though. Okay, though, the twin thing makes sense. Because she split into two pillars. Oh, fuck, Ty. What? I didn't put that together.
I would have thought of it.
Oh my god.
I have only seen a few members in person. This Esther individual is not one of them.
Who have you seen so we can... And Jotra kind of like pulls out a piece of paper where he's copied the list that Erden showed him. He's like, of these, what do they look like so we can keep an eye out for them? Whoever you recognize. You write down their traits and kind of slaps it down.
Well, yourself. Ophelia, before she passed. He kind of looks across the lists. I know Dreheim. Alexis was a dwarven woman.
Well, during one of its first missions.
She has also passed. Although, and Torn will kind of turn towards Eridan. That was through no fault of yours. Begins to look.
Alexis and Ophelia are both deceased.
Unfortunately, yes.
Do they replace members? How would that even work? How does one even get in?
Make the same promise, maybe. So if can the blade go on after the sister has fallen?
Let me answer one question before I answer another.
Sorry.
You have two high intelligent wizard types. This is
Badgering
terrible.
you.
And Jotra and Aridin, I feel like just like go back and
We're
forth.
starting to
Like,
vibe
oh my
now.
God. That's so vibe, fam.
He continues to look through. He's... Calico Woods is a halfling individual. I have met them just the once. I've met Shudder twice. A half-orc woman. And Honey Rust is a gnome.
Hair colors or anything?
I've only seen their silhouettes, the shadows. I wouldn't be able to pick out any defining features, unfortunately.
They mostly hunt at night.
They have a tendency to enjoy the darker times of the day, although when they need someone dead, they need someone dead. It doesn't matter what time it is. It's almost a ritualistic thing, though. They attempt to take out their targets at night. They see it as a sacrifice, if you will, which is... if you studied much in religious texts, then you would know that's not really a nice, serious deal, but try telling the Soritas that.
Is there anyone under Matriana? Or is she the, like, does she have a right-hand person?
No. Matrana is the one who leads the Soritas. Where they get their orders from, I'm not entirely sure.
Who's your dad?
I don't
Who's
know.
your daddy and what does he do? Couldn't help it. I tried so hard.
Tried so hard and got so far. Fuck.
I don't know.
So, is your mother the shifter or is he? Or is that how shifters are? Don't know.
He kind of
Being
chuckles.
real
for a
personal with Ton right now.
He chuckles for a moment and leans back, and it's just, I didn't realize this was an interrogation.
Existential crisis.
A what?
My
It's
father
less of-
died before. My father died before I was born. My first mother is a shifter. My second, a half-elf.
Who's your first mother?
My first mother would be the individual we are talking about. She is indeed a shifter, just like myself. And, well, I can certainly tell you her features because he goes ahead and points to the peripheral eyes on the side of his face. That's where I got these from. My second mother, we share no blood relation.
Still around?
Possibly. I haven't seen her in a long time. Not since my mother's broke up.
Was your mother always in the Sarita? Saritas are allowed to have relationships and stuff? It's not like a weird monk thing or anything?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I was raised by my second mother for the majority of my life before being picked up, trained in combat, and brought a little bit into this life. Apologies, I really don't know much more.
They're male Saritas?
No.
Then why take you away from your second mother and train you?
He noticeably slumps a little bit, and his face kind of falls. If I knew that, I'd tell you. The blades, as you were asking, they change to each individual. You find whatever blade fits you best, whatever style fits you best. Shape, length, design. The Soritas have a very large collection of weapons. Then, once you have found the one that calls to you and you call to it, you practice and practice and practice until it is but an extension of yourself. And when Maitrana deems you worthy, you make your promise. And the blade is then bound to you forevermore.
Respect for weapon. Set you up with a weapon from them? Maybe you should.
For probably the first time since you've met him, Torn suddenly looks uncomfortable.
Sorry, I tend to just keep rattling on until somebody stops me, so at any time you can just be like, hey, Jotra, like everybody else does.
He sinks back into his seat a little bit. You're a smart one. There's the makings of greatness in there somewhere. It's a compliment, Jojo.
Sorry, most of the time people say you're a smart one, and then they follow it up with something like, you're gonna get yourself killed, or that's not nearly enough to make it in this world. Or, just stuff like that. I'm not used to something following it that's positive.
Oh.
He chuckles a little bit before kind of settling back. He kind of... The wagon itself is open, so Torn has been kind of looking backwards towards you. He has the reins in one hand, and he appears to still have his shield in the other, just kind of settled. Relaxed, but ready, just in case, during this trek.
I'm gonna go back to studying the blade and seeing if you can parse the language that the song might be from the room.
Mm-hmm. Judging from what you have already deciphered, what languages do you speak?
Oh. So many languages.
Yes. Jotra speaks, yes. Languages.
Common, Dwarvish, Gnomish, Sylvan, and Undercommon. If Undercommon's a thing.
And
Okay.
You could like vaguely read Celestial.
That's right.
It's like
yeah.
when you're learning a language and you like know the alphabet, but you don't really know what it says.
So you would know from your time spent with Eridan going ahead and deciphering this thing. One of its roots is definitely Celestial. There is another root that appears to be in Sylvan. There is another root that appears to be just purely some kind of arcane rune. Some kind of like ancient arcane runic language that doesn't seem entirely familiar. It's one of those, like, if you were to lay out a spell book, you'd be able to recognize bits and pieces from where it's changed over the years. But looking at this kind of older text all in one go, it's difficult. It also appears to have a mixture of most common languages, as you've gone ahead and kind of deciphered through this. Dwarven, Elvish, Gnomish, Draconic, Halfling, etc., etc., etc. It appears to just be teeny tiny pieces cut out, mixed up, and mixed all together.
Now, this is going to sound weird. Are any of the runes offset up or down to indicate melody?
Interesting you should say that. As you take a look across the blade itself, there is a set of particular lines of where the metal has been folded and created. And as you're beginning to check across these runes, you do indeed notice that they are set in very specific places across these lines. As you take a peek towards Eridan's blade, as hers is still jutting up slightly from where it's sheathed, her blade shares the same quality. It is indeed sheet music.
Joe's just gonna copy it down into sheet music, and he's gonna be like, Eridan, when you sing to your blade, do you use any words?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I think I figured out the tune for this blade, but I don't know of anybody who should sing it. He starts showing you along the side. He's like, hey, they folded it into the steel as part of the creation process. If you look, there's the staves of music, which probably create a sympathetic tone that goes throughout it. So when you sing it, the actual metal itself hums with the harmony of it and activates something in the runes. They've probably relayed some sort of like under the runes and stuff that catches that musical tune to activate them, because it's written so that you can really say these, I think, in any language that you want, as long as you know the tune, and I think you have to mean it. I don't know exactly how you feel when you blade sing, but that's kind of what it seems like here, because there's too many languages here to sing all in one song. But if you can sing whatever you want, as long as you know the words and you know the motivation and the tune. Yeah. So, and he kind of like shows you the staff and everything.
You're half right there, George.
What's the other half?
The whole point of there being so many languages embedded is so that you don't have to speak words.
It speaks them for you.
Just the tune will be able to resonate, and the blade itself will speak its promise back to you. However, if you attempt to resonate with a promise that's not yours,
you're a liar. Be silenced.
Nyseria's wrath upon ye.
Serious.
Just a phrase that my mother used to say. He turns for a moment and locks eyes with Soup and just says, "How do you keep up?"
Soup looks up from the glamour weave dress that he's like tearing into pieces and like weaving into his armor, and he's like,
I don't listen.
Infinitely wise words to live by.
Oh.
He chuckles a little bit.
There it is.
Chuckles a little and turns back to look at the road ahead of you.
What color is this glamour weave armor turning into? What is happening here?
So if I remember correctly, this is a bright white dress that's very sparkly. And he is weaving it into his leather armor.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And
is
the wonderful
taking
thing about
small
glamour
sections of it.
weave, is that all you need to do is put a thought towards it, and it will change depending on what you want it to do. So if you wanted to, for example, look like you were set on fire, you could, or create a cape of butterflies, or create shooting
Moss.
stars, or
Swamp.
Mhm.
Wamp.
Swamp.
Lamp.
Wow.
If you would like to be covered if you would like flies flying around you to look incredibly gross and creepy, then you could. Yeah, Glamour Weave is super interesting, and the only thing that really stops you is your imagination. It is a harmless effect. That's pretty much the only limit. It can't do damage. But it can also be used to bolster charisma checks, which is pretty neat as well.
A cape of daggers.
And perform.
Intimidation.
You want to mess with me?
Just turn into a porcupine.
Me when I'm stressed. No.
I have a few ideas.
All right. Anything else? Or are we ready to go into Quinn?
I did have a
Keen,
quick thing. I want to look through the book, and I want to go through any jobs that have Esther in them.
Okay.
And what was the last job she did?
You go ahead and take a quick look through. Roll a d6.
Okay.
Okay.
The 4.
Okay. You've been on some similar jobs. You've been on the same jobs. You've been on completely different jobs. She seems to have been on a few more than you have before your disappearance. And as you go ahead and take a look at the most recent, she appears to have joined a few other names, including Matrana Velirkes, on the hunt for one Jotra quill sharpener.
Of course. Cool. No doubt. Fudge.
Oh. Matriana's on that hunt too.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Matrana Velirkes.
Gonna hunt you down.
Does it say anything about Matri? Is there a note in there on the Jotra job that Matriana was injured?
Nope. No updates.
Especially if Ton says that they gave me this book on purpose. Here I thought I was like, oh, I'm a step ahead of them. I'm going to keep track on this. No. No, okay, cool. No.
We're not
that's
one
it.
step ahead of the bread line.
No, sure ain't.
We're not.
Why? I guess it has been 5 minutes. That's fair, Sean. I'll let you have.
He's just maintaining his quota.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep, trying to keep my levels up. It's gotta be therapeutic.
An episode of Flowers.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Okay. If everybody's ready to go,
Did Soup do what Soup wanted
we
to do?
can head.
I mean, he's just making this armor. You guys are talking, so he doesn't open the book to interrupt all of you. He's just sitting there like poking himself every once in a while.
I mean, this trip is going to take many hours, so if you would like to open the book, you may.
Oh,
But that
then
is entirely up to you.
if there was a moment of silence where they were not trying to figure something out, then he would just set the book down in the middle of the wagon and just open it, slap it open and be like, sit back and listen to the story because he loves stories.
Oh, I'm scared. Fear.
I love audiobooks on a road trip. This is great.
Exactly what this is.
It skips past the same spiel that you heard beforehand.
Bet you wouldn't.
And there's a deliberate few moments of silence before you hear. Chapter 1. All right. I know what you're thinking. How on earth is this split into chapters? I mean, come on. He must have gone on one adventure and been like, nope, not for me, and that's it. Well, let me tell you something. I'll tell you something real good. I like adventures, and there are many things that I've gone done. So, he begins to describe his adventure out of his kobold clan.
Whoa, hold up.
Immediately, the first thing he mentions is, so there's this guy, right? Big, tough, giant lizard dragon man. And
Is his name Trogdor? Please say his name is Trogdor.
Well, he was a nice enough guy, but he kept us around and this is a book. He can't read it. His breath stank. So I decided this isn't what I want to live. This isn't what I want to do. Go goddamn did some adventures. And that's exactly what I did. I snuck away in the dead of night, left my family behind, in order to hopefully go ahead and do some goddamn don't adventure. So that's what I did. First thing, as soon as I got out, smelled the wonderful air around. And I realized, wow, nature's great. People aren't. just making Sean crack up.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Once I went ahead, I immediately missed my folks, but I knew they were going to be okay. Their mother was a lot stronger than I was. Anyway, I realized there's a slight problem in the fact that I don't speak the speaks that other people speak in this place, so I had to go ahead and make my first mission, going ahead and finding out who speaks the speaks so they can teach me the speaks and how to speak. So that's the first adventure that I done did.
That was well spoken.
He explains about going to a nearby town and struggling with the fact that no one understood Common. No one understood Draconic, sorry. He ended up being chased out of a few villages before running into a particular individual who actually happened to be fluent in Draconic. This particular individual actually took him for a few drinks. They went ahead and kind of laughed the night away, which ended with a very rambunctious, a rambunctious bar crawl in the middle of a strange city. And he agreed to teach this individual Draconic. Not only the rest of Draconic, but Common as well. And actually begun to teach him just a little bit of Infernal as well. He explains how he spent a few years with this individual and how this person was really nice to them and really kind, gave them clothes, gave them equipment. And when he said he wanted to go adventuring, well, he was supplied with some simple armor, a crossbow, some bolts, and a few short daggers, and was sent out into the world adventuring. And at the end, he simply says, so that's the first part of the adventure that I done did. Yeah, exciting. It's cool. It's fun. Wish my family could see me now. I think I was real cool. Signed, SBK. Somebody cool. Underlined.
I love that so much.
Chapter 2.
Soup like closes the book, and he just looks shocked. And he puts the book away, and he just looks out.
What do you
And
think chapter 2 would be about?
Looks out the window with the headphones on and plays a montage in their head.
It's just like. Where do we go from here?
Soup, are you all right?
Yeah. Yep. Why?
You look, concerned? Confused? Somewhere in the middle?
Confounded.
Well, I never heard of Cobalt Adventure before. Kind of cool. Guess I wasn't expecting that.
Do kobolds not adventure often?
Not really. Kinda. No, not.
You can tell he's like struggling to find the right words.
Theoden sits and waits.
Not the way you normally think about it. Yeah. More like, I don't know, wild and stuff.
Hmm.
Oh. That. I don't know how to say it.
Makes sense.
I think I understand. How are you an adventurer then?
He doesn't have lips. He can't do that.
I ain't no venture.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we're on an adventure. You're with us.
I guess.
In that moment, I just cold pictured just Soup. Get off my lawn.
It's like, don't confront me with your correct assumptions. Get out of here with those. No facts. Get out. He just kind of looks down and looks at you.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just gonna go back to her book. Just no, I'm not looking. Nothing.
Good. Don't fix my dress.
A short, maybe giggly silence later, and the cart begins to slow down as you exit through a similar set of gates that you entered through. You've passed now the threshold of the wasteland. It takes a few more hours before you reach the town. The first thing you immediately notice about this small area, it appears to be nestled in between a few hills in the meadowy part of Zenry. It's quite nice to see green again as you look around and see rolling grasslands, an abundance of birds, wildlife, fauna, flora. the multicolors of flowers and plants that seem to cascade across the hills themselves. As the wind blows, it appears to make these waves that kind of crest across the horizon. It's peaceful, it's calming, and it's reassuring. It's been a little while now, stuck with browns and greys and reds. It's quite nice to see some purples and whites, yellows, greens mixed in. For the first time in a long time, fresh air hits your lungs, and it's as if a weight has been taken out of your chest. You feel almost what feels like a month's worth of dust and congestion just washed away. Smells of grass, flowers, just the general pleasures of nature. Your senses are a little overwhelmed at first, but you quickly acclimatize. As you carry on through, you see the city of the town of Keene. So used to saying city because you've only been to cities so far, but this is a town. This is a town of Keene. Keene. The first thing you would notice about this village is a large graveyard, almost larger than the town itself. It's oddly beautiful. The structure and decorations around it appears to be covered in various different kinds of nature. Moss, grass, plants, trees, the entire area almost seems like a garden. And many of these tombstones are very specifically positioned so that though the details and names and other such things on the plaques remain visible and intact and well looked after, plants have begun to grow and encompass around the outsides. It's a jarring but beautiful harmony. This area probably hosts a few thousand individuals, encompassed in a very, very, very small space, or relative small space anyway. The town itself appears to be unremarkable, other than the huge furnace that seems to sit in the center of the town itself. As you begin to come through, Torn stops the wagon and ties his horse to what appears to be a stable-like building.
And you tie a ghost horse
Mm-hmm.
to a... Oh, okay.
It's spectral to look at, but it's physical. You can pat it, you can pet it, you can tie it, etc., etc.
Got it. Cool.
Can we actually set up camp outside of town?
One kind of turns and pauses for a moment.
Just told I'm not allowed to blow up anybody else with my...
Sure. He goes ahead and begins to untie and then turns back to you. But you're buying Cantor something nice. He kind of shoots a smile at you.
What is Cantor like?
That's cute.
He gives Cantor a tap. The souls of gnomes.
Oh my god.
None here.
Soup laughs at that.
Oh my god.
Hopefully not, Swift-Neblin.
The second time, I think the second or third time, you get a legitimate laugh out of Torn as he just turns and says, just buy him some carrots, you'll be fine.
Okay.
He'll go ahead and turn the wagon around and pull it just outside of the town. I do have a few things to go ahead and collect and resupply it before the area closes, I can go ahead and rent us all a room, and we can set off in the morning.
Got some things to try, and then I'll probably hit in and be all there. Hopefully I don't blow anything up at it. I don't think it is. Soup, do you still have that fishing pole? May I borrow it? From when we crashed, you made a fishing pole.
The look of realization on your face was.
I was gonna say, I think that was the player going,
pole.
oh!
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Soup's very well organized. So you see him, he just like clicks his claws across and then pulls out like the fishing pole. It's been like bent over, and he just like puts it back up and ties it. Hands it to you.
Thank you. Then, you wanna get in town, or do you wanna me, or I've got. It's fine. And then Jojo's gonna take the sword, and he's just gonna walk out like a good 60 paces away from everybody. He's gonna set it down, and then he's going to pick up a rock, slap his tools forward, and he's gonna start doing some little engravings on it to make sure so I can use my magical tinkering, so that way he carves it so that runes make the tune that goes along with the sword. And then he's going to back up as far as he can and uses the fishing rod, and so it's constantly just playing this tune. And he's going to cast the rock onto the sword to see if he can get the sword to activate and sees what happens to the rock. As soon as he casts it, he's going to jam the pole and let go. As soon as let go of it, as soon as he gets the rock over there, and he's going to see what happens.
Oh God, Aridin is sticking around.
Yeah, Soup's gonna be right next to Jotra and go.
Watch out, ghost horse.
No, Soup. Oh my gosh.
As the stone hits across the blade, you hear that familiar screech, the same screech you heard when Eridan tried to sing to the sword at first, that carries and rips through the air. As you hear, Jesus, I just got back to sleep. You hear a slight staggering as Oren pulls himself out. Just, Jotra!
Okay, but what happens? Does
experiments.
Jotra?
Does-
Jotra doesn't lose his voice, does he?
Does the stone explode?
You notice that the stone is no longer there.
Ooh.
Did I see it pop or anything, or is it just gone?
It was just gone. There was a small arcane flash that rippled across it, and then it just...
Sure. And then,
Wait, did you put the song into the rock?
yeah. I put the song into the rock, then I put the rock in the blade, and then now the...
Cast silence wouldn't do that, would it?
No, it seems like there'd be some sort of banishment spell or something. You might have gotten off easy. Because you are the wrath of Nyceria. No, I don't know. Oh wait, I wonder it's because the rock doesn't have any will, and it isn't an. It doesn't have any personality or any blood or anything that can be checked against the promise that was made. So therefore, it was negated, and then so it would just both magics came together, negated each other, and the rock was banished in between to some sort of demi-plane or something. Shift. Don't know. That was not what I was expecting.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't
What do you
think so.
would happen?
I think if she was a rat, then not serious, she'd hit better.
Oof. Oof.
Oh!
Shots fired.
Oh God.
I'll try one other thing. And Jotra's gonna take a small piece of metal. He's gonna tinker it onto there as well. and then he's gonna cast it, and then as it lands on the blade, he's gonna cast heat metal on the blade to see what happens.
Okay.
Trying
How
to.
far away from it are you?
See, I am max range for the spell for sure. It's 60,
Don't like this question.
60 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
60 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm about 5 feet behind that.
Okay. You go ahead and cast this tinkered piece of metal onto the blade. This screech happens as well as you go ahead and attempt to cast heat metal on it. I would like you both to make intelligence saves.
Both me and Jotra. Isn't Soup
Mhm.
next
I'm
to us?
also there.
Oh god.
Okay, all three of you to make intelligence saves.
Oh wait, not bad, not bad. It's I rolled a 19, so.
Okay, I did
plus-
okay. That's a 16
8.
plus 7.
I got a 27.
27
Oh, no.
saves.
So good, guys. Rolled a 9.
Indomitable? Do you have it yet? I didn't even know.
I don't think I have that yet.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so Soup doesn't save. Eridan?
I had to pull out the calculator. I got a 23.
23. Okay. So
Oh shit. Oh god, oh no.
Soup, you take 28 points of psychic damage. Jotra and Eridan, you take 14 points of psychic damage. As your spell goes into the blade defends itself. And a harsh blast of screeching psychic energy rocks out itself as you kind of go ahead and reel. Torn grabs you by the arm and just says, I would recommend you don't do that again.
Oh no, I don't need to do it twice. Found out what happened.
I literally just told you that these blades were filled with the promise of a god, and you decide to try and cast a spell on it.
I just wanted to heat the metal to see if I could warp it just the tiniest bit and make it useless. That was fun. Ugh. All right, well, experiment's over, everybody. Oh my god. And he's gonna slap it. He's gonna just reach over and he's gonna slap a cure wounds into poor Soup standing next to it.
Soup just looks like he got hit by a truck. He's just like, oh.
Soup is never.
You
going
heal
to stand
11.
next
Right, thank
to-
you.
I'm going to stand there for a second, just like holding my head, and I'm gonna put both my hands on one hand on Soup's shoulder, the other one on Jotra's, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level twice. Because wow. Jotra, you're gonna heal 10. And Soup, you're going to heal math.
I love healing math. Healing math is great.
It's oh wait, it's plus something, isn't it?
Welcome to these healing maths.
Okay, so
Healing
you
maths with
heal.
Eridan.
Stop! No, don't do
Feel
that.
the twos flow through you.
You heal for 12.
Oh, awesome.
And Jotra, you heal for 13. Because I forgot the plus 3.
Ooh.
And Eridan, you heal for 13. Good level.
Second wind.
Okay, I think that's enough curiosity for one night.
So
I'm just gonna sit out here for a little while.
Then?
I'll be in a little bit. I'm just gonna lay out here for just this is a little bit and think about what I've done.
Dude, I'm gonna need a minute to bring that ghost horse over here to eat you. Hold on.
Oh, he likes carrots.
And after I get done with him, I'm gonna make him mad.
I love soup.
You feel a sudden breeze begin to pick up
Hmm?
around you
This is
as
gonna run to the sword.
dusk
Have with me!
has set in quite a little bit.
There's not protection on the sword. It lasts for 8 hours.
Are you running to the sword?
I am, yeah.
Joshua?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead and
sorry,
make a
been
wisdom
with me.
save for me.
It's happening. Oh my god, is Matriana coming back? Oh fuck. Oh no. Oh, it's happening. Wait a minute. How long did the trip take? Did the spell wear off and I didn't realize? I would have been keeping track of this.
Jotra, calm down.
Well, so with my
No.
-1 to saves, that's gonna be a 7.
Okay. You are under the effects of whole person.
I'm rushing over.
Yelling.
I have my sword drawn.
I would appreciate it if you didn't move, thank you.
Shit.
You see coming from the town, you see what appears to be the silhouette of an individual that appears to be floating towards you, just a few foot off the ground. One hand out towards Jotra. What was that? What was that infernal racket? That was a lot of magical energy that just came out of there. And if you are going to attempt to attack the town, I'm afraid I'm going to have to turn you all into pigs.
Oh,
No,
hell.
not attacking the town. Magical experiments gone horribly wrong. And we apologize. Sorry.
And as he clicks, Jotra, you are freed from hold person. All right.
Keep jogging to the sword and stuffing in path as whatever else is happening.
And
I liked him like
apologize. I apologize for drawing my blade. I thought our experiment had gone worse than I thought, and that we summoned something. Sorry.
You hear that sigh kind of echo as he nods once. Your apology is appreciated. Now please, do not cause any trouble or be on your way. I would really rather not sully my hands today.
Nope. No trouble. Stopping for the night. Leaving in the morning. Apologies again.
The
What's your
silhouette is still...
name?
What does this individual look like? Are they like Essek? Like from Critical Role? Like just a floating cape? Like what are we dealing with here?
You would need to stop him from floating away. As you apologize and he says this, he goes ahead and begins to turn and just head back to the town.
No, but wait, what does he look like? Or did we not see his face?
He's silhouetted.
He's got the light behind him.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be able to see him.
The shadows.
He deliberately positioned himself so that the sunset would block him from you.
Wow. That's edgy. Okay.
Because he's
I respect
extra.
that. I respect that. I can respect that. From one edgelord to another. I respect that. As he leaves, Aaron's just gonna be like, whew.
Soup, did you actually yell that at him?
Yes, he definitely yells, "What is your name?" Or "Who are you?" Something to that effect.
Please don't hurt
He-
Soup.
He pauses for a moment before turning back towards you. It depends who wants to know. Now, doesn't it?
I am Jotra.
I don't know. You different times. Oh, we met one person like that.
One person like what?
Well, I guess really we met two. We met somebody who didn't want nobody to know who she was. We also met somebody else kind of like that but could change who she was. What's your name right now?
This is the first time in a long time that I've actually been confused. Congratulations.
We have that effect.
He begins to kind of... He begins to float forwards, and you now can see what this individual actually looks like. He is a tall, slender elf. He is a black individual. He looks surprisingly young, considering his kind of his kind of look right now. He has words are failing me at the moment to describe this individual. He has a very, very long set of braids that are wrapped up at the back and actually continue to wrap around sections of his body. And they appear to go down all the way kind of towards his knees and just a little bit further down. He appears to be dressed in a rather simple outfit. A basic kind of loose shirt and loose trousers. They appear to be quite nicely colored in a mixture of blacks and pinks. His nails are painted with the same kind of pink that is across his outfit. As he takes a look down towards you, you are a rather interesting individual. You all are. He begins to float a little bit closer. My name is Odion. I live here. I'm protected from anyone who... And he kind of looks towards the sword. Well, do I need to spell it out?
Odion, protector of king.
Let's call it that, I suppose. He pauses for a moment, looks at you, looks at his hand, and just goes, magic.
Well, yeah, but which kind of levitation? A full fly spell? How long does it last? Does it come from a magical item? Is it a magical blood? This is very cool.
I feel like Aaron and Soup are standing behind him, just like.
Interesting.
So many questions.
All right, I'll bite. No, it is not a levitation spell. It's also not any kind of flying spell directly. It's actually channeled through. And he goes ahead and actually taps a piercing on his eyebrow through this.
That's really cool.
It's kind of an enchantment, but not quite an enchantment. It's holds meaning in my family.
Was your whole family protected Are you like third generation protector of king?
Amusing. No, we are gravekeepers.
Gravekeepers.
We did see that on the way in.
It was one of those things that one of our family made, and for some reason it stuck. I'm not entirely sure why, honestly. But it turns out every gravekeeper has one. It's incredibly helpful, as you can move it. You can go ahead and remove it and put it through someone else's, and their bodies will lift up, and it makes the process a little easier.
Oh.
So, your eyebrow ring's been on a bunch of dead folks.
Is that a problem?
Nope. Just making sure.
What is happening?
Anybody in your family got longer hair than you?
Not a very odd question, but all right, I'll bite. Yes. Many, in fact.
His hair, like, goes past his knees, doesn't it? Okay, just checking.
He like looks back at him like, what?
I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, a father, a mother, uncle. My hair is longer than about half of them. But hey, who's counting?
Where does it? No, never mind.
Any other questions? Would you like me to hand you over a application for a job? Would you like to know, I don't know, my parents' family name? Would you like to know? You kind of.
If you got time, I have questions.
His arms kind of cross.
Oh no, sorry, it was a joke. I knew that.
No, I'll bite.
You bite?
Look, this entire town is full of dead people and people who like to celebrate the dead. That is fantastic. But the downside of that is they don't like talking to the living much. So I'll take what conversation I can get. Thank you.
Okay. Is the rest of your family involved in graveyards around the entire world? Is the hair length,
Yes.
do you cut it off as for grieving or mourning or something like that? So it's based more on
No.
age and experience? Is it a personal choice where you put the ring, or is it as any ancestral significance?
Social significance.
Okay, so what does the ring on an eyebrow mean as opposed to, say, one through your nose?
It is what our family has gone ahead and placed it through.
So
It is the closest spot to the eye. The eye is the window to the soul.
so if somebody has different piercings, would indicate they might be from a different family of the same traditions?
Possibly. Although most of the time those piercings would be found on the eyebrow. In
Does
different
floating-
spots, perhaps, but
You float around a lot because your hair keeps it off the ground. Is it hard to brush that long? It seems like it'd be really difficult. Do you have magic for that as well?
no, I don't float to protect my hair. And yes, indeed, it is very hard to manage. However, luckily we have a few spells specifically designed for hair care.
Sounds nice. He like rubs his bald hair.
Oh yeah, only one of our party actually has hair.
No,
And as-
two.
Jojo's gonna
Well,
Oren-
that's right.
Oren
Oren,
has a-
Oren,
Oren
has
Oren,
a-
Oren.
It's not bald.
Jojo's gonna start walking.
Just
to-
currently, those who are present.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's gonna start walking up to him and like kind of like almost like he's gonna like kind of walk into town, keep asking questions. Like he's like, so is it like, do you guys have bars here? Like, is there a lot of? Do you guys like have a special ancestral drink? What are your guys' favorite drinking songs? And so like he's just gonna just keep going and kind of distract him from the fact that he blew up something outside of his city and try to give the guy somebody to talk to now that he said he wants that sort of thing.
As Jotra's walking away with Odion.
Odion, yes.
Odion, yeah. Okay. Before Pavasari can follow after Jotra, I'm gonna take Valirki's sword, tap Pavasari, and say, can I get this back? Okay, thank you. And just put the sword in there. And I'm going to slap another non-detection on it.
Cool. You could definitely do that. Joshua.
Really need that spell slot ring real bad.
He manages to keep up just fine. On your journey inside the town itself, you learn that he indeed is from a family of gravekeepers. They protect multiple different graveyards across pretty much the entirety of Vacre. His family line is large and vast. His family are very much close-knit. Things like cousins and second cousins are still considered brothers and sisters. So although he says he has a few biological, in reality his family is a hell of a lot bigger. Yes, the eyebrow thing is definitely a symbol of his family. Across the world, if you were to meet other gravekeepers, they would have piercings in slightly different places in order to denote where they are protecting. That's essentially the reflection there. Although they will always be, as I said before, in the eyebrow, as it is the belief that it is the closest place to the soul. Gravekeepers also believe that death is just as important as life, and it is not the end. Wherever you end up going, it should be celebrated. And as such, gravekeepers will go ahead and cremate the remains of whoever they are looking after and give them a huge ceremony before burying them. Each individual person will have a day's worth of celebrations before they are finally laid to rest. And it's up to a gravekeeper to make sure that that person is still in the mind of everyone. And make sure that the graves are protected and looked after. It's a very big ceremonial thing in Vacre in general. It's a very, very important job, which is why it is handled usually by the one family. There are other gravekeepers around, but for the majority, it is this one kind of large family that take care of it, as they are trusted within the community. And they are known also to be very powerful sorcerers. And that is why they, for the most part, are left in charge of such an important ceremony. And that's a little bit about vacant culture as a whole. Yeah, death is seen as an important step in order to get to the next life, so to speak. So it is lauded and celebrated as a huge event. And there is a whole custom that goes along with that as well. So, yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay. While Jotra is traveling with Odian, Soup is going to look at Eridan while they're walking up. I assume when we're following. He's going to kind of, he'll look up at you and say,
Think I've been real funny lately?
Sorry, say that again?
Think I've been real funny lately?
Real funny lately.
Yeah. Haha.
I'm so sorry. Did Soup say, do you think I've been funny lately? I think so. Why?
Okay.
I'm gonna give him a gentle nudge.
Don't knock me over.
You were never in danger of falling over because Ashtalora's on your other side.
so he feels trapped. This is good.
No, you just have a cat walking next to you. Da, 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 da.
You are encased.
Yes.
If you run, they will find you.
They will find you.
I have a very particular set of cats.
He seems rather pleased with himself after you say that.
Yay! That makes Eridan happy too.
Jotra, as you're the first to get there, you would be the first to see the town. The town of Keene is pretty basic. As I say, there is very clearly a large furnace in the center of the town. Other than that,
There's a Starbucks on. At least.
No.
There's a subway.
No.
You said it's basic. You said it's basic.
No.
I'm just saying, pumpkin
Or a
spice
Sonic.
lattes.
Or McDonald's.
They're out there.
Somebody say yo basic.
Walmart.
We will destroy his brain. We will do it.
I'm
Hey, at
sorry.
least Subway is something he can relate to, because Subways are also everywhere there.
I'm sorry.
Tesco. It's got a Tesco, right?
Damn it. All right. So, now that we've just ruined our sponsorship with every single brand known to man,
Yes, Starbucks, please sponsor us.
the
What?
town of Keene, the buildings themselves appear to be relatively normal, made mostly out of thick, strong wood. They also appear to be covered in various different kinds of plants, plant pots, trellises, and other such, just general natural life. It doesn't appear intrusive. The few times that you see doors swing open, the insides seem like just warm log cabins, essentially. The entire town seems to be in some kind of equilibrium with the nature around it. It's rather pleasant. And it's also quite nice to see this in a setting that's not magical. You know of a few different towns and cities, especially in La Fincala, that have been kind of magically taken over by various different kinds of plant life. This is a little bit more natural. This is very clearly people putting time and effort into creating this equilibrium, and it's quite nice. Individuals seem happy and friendly, although they very clearly don't really keep in long conversations. You'll see people greeting each other and, saying, "Oh, how you doing? How's the kids?" etc. But no one appears to be in longer conversations. You pass a small kind of open-air tavern, and you see a few people who are clearly travelers, merchants, and adventurers who appear to be having these longer discussions. The locals appear to be kind of just basic locals, just going about their lives. It's actually quite a nice break for you. And you're still kind of discussing as you go, and he pulls you away to this nice kind of slightly wider cabin, which he goes ahead and waves, and the front door seems to almost become incorporeal as he just floats through it.
To teach me that one. That's awesome. Or just explain it a little bit. I want to know how there's so many uses.
It's just a basic illusion spell. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's
cool.
nothing exciting, I'm afraid. It's just a little spice added to something that already exists.
Is the piercing, is it on the same property as like levitation crystals? Are like any encased inside the metal there? The gravicrysts?
Honestly, I've never checked.
Okay.
We're pierced and given them when we are born, so we are taught and are grown up with its abilities. We're not 100% sure what exactly they can do. He kind of chuckles as he goes, "I must say, though, it is a weird sight if you see our families celebrating the birth of their children and these small babies with eye piercings. It's a little unusual for some, but for us it's normal.
You just have to do certain exercises so that way your legs don't, degrade over time.
We can still choose to walk if we wish, and yes, we do make sure to keep active. We do not want muscles atrophying, certainly.
I would never, Chet. I would never. Oh, I'm gonna figure out where he got it. No, I'm just
I have a really cool little gadget. Let me fuck with it.
It's like, hey, that's really cool. Yeah, it means a lot to me. It's really close to my family. Cool. So does it work like this? I don't actually know.
No doubt.
Something. I must know how it works. I must
No.
know.
So you have met Jotra.
Yeah, right. He's a knowledge addict. When did you first become a knowledge addict? Well,
I don't know. I must find out.
The whole
my
start
God.
of the day I was
Artificer
born.
Anonymous.
Artificers Anonymous. I just can't stop asking questions. I'm so sorry.
I can't stop messing with things and making things. I can't stop making things.
I keep blowing things up with magic on accident.
And hurting myself and others.
It's been 30 days since I've created something.
I'm a danger.
Oh my god, we need to have a sign that says the sign that says like number of days since last incident.
Yeah.
You're at 0 now.
You need to go ahead and
Oh my
attach
God.
it to Pavasari and just
Yes.
have it there
Just as a
constantly.
little
We're
tile.
currently at 0.
God, I love this idea.
That is
Um,
great. We need that.
Yeah. As you're kind of having this discussion, the rest of the party would be able to catch up. You see the same kind of atmosphere around you. You step through this illusionary doorway, and you watch as he flicks a finger, and a small teapot kind of levitates itself forwards and begins pouring this kind of pink tea into some cups. Well, since you're here, make yourself a little comfortable at least. Forgive me, it really is a long time since I've had a conversation with anyone of great length.
It's been a long time since I've had a conversation with somebody who didn't tell me to shut up or just stop talking. This is nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've asked a lot of questions about me. Where do you come from?
Oh, I come from the city of mirrors. It's a lot of Zarif Neblin down there. Like myself, my parents ran an inn down there. Actually, Dad used to be an adventurer, and he's like, a trick. So I kind of, did that, and but I picked up a bit of tinkering and stuff. Yeah, nothing too exciting yet. But hopefully, adventuring it can get exciting at any time, especially when you almost blow yourself up with a magic sword.
Next time I will counterspell it. And he flicks his fingers and kind of sends these cups towards Eridan and Soup and Oren as you all head in. Oren's still rubbing his head and kind of trying to clear his ears from this scream that he heard.
Wait, did Oren get hit too? I would have used the cure wounds on him.
Oren didn't get hit, but he did get woken up.
Okay.
The sound was loud, which is why your new friend also heard it as it echoed throughout the town. Torn is also behind, but is very deliberately and not stepping outside. He's kind of keeping an eye on the doorway and outside, just a little suspicious.
What does the tea taste like?
It is a peach and jasmine tea.
Oh, that sounds good though.
That sounds delicious.
No, heck, now I want tea.
Uh,
Is jasmine tea tea caffeinated though?
It's a herbal tea,
it's
so
like some-
not really. No.
Yeah. I don't
Unless you
think
mix
so.
some black or green tea in there, no, probably not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not like caffeinated. Ooh, excuse me. And it just tastes nice. Just tastes refreshing. You notice as he go ahead.
He go ahead.
He go ahead.
He's still stuck in that storyteller voice.
Yeah.
He
I'm
done
still
did
stuck
gone,
in
did
this
gone.
voice. All right. He go ahead.
Boy, howdy.
You go round ahead there, boy. You tell him,
Yeah,
tell him what
no.
he do. You're the storyteller.
Man, oh, they gonna spit out them words, like you gotta be able to tell us, like, like what happening.
You watch as he goes ahead and kind of pulls this piercing out of his eye, and he gently kind of hits the ground as he takes a few steps and kind of sits back rather formally. You notice he sits right back in his chair and kind of straightens up, crosses his feet over, and a cup floats towards him as he goes ahead and takes a drink as well. And the rest of you?
I'm Eridan.
A pleasure.
Nice to meet you. I'm not from anywhere interesting. A small farming town, actually.
There's a belly laugh that comes out of him as he just smiles and just says, "You're telling me about someone with golden horns, a big wing, and a mechanical wing, and she just tells me that she is from a small farming town, and that is not interesting."
Farming's very dangerous.
Well, that's why I
Indeed.
left home. And I've been on the road and things happened. So.
Do not worry, there's no pressure to disclose anything. After all, we have just met. This is fine. Don't you worry, everyone keeps their secrets. What about you, scaly one?
What's in this tea?
It's a jasmine blend, jasmine and peach. It's pretty tasty, pretty refreshing.
Like it. You're cooked with it?
Can't say I have. And you watch as he kind of flicks his finger, and the teapot floats over and just slowly begins to refill your cup.
Have some of that tea bag.
I suppose it won't hurt.
He gets a small little satchel or whatever, and he just kind of opens it up.
He goes ahead and clicks his fingers again. You notice one of the shelves in the background just opens up, and a small selection of what appears to be kind of almost a shredded peach and jasmine begins to float over and just slowly, almost Fantasia style, just slowly kind of goes into this satchel.
He just looks elated. He's like as it goes in.
As you've gotten a chance to settle, this room doesn't seem out of the ordinary. It just seems like a slightly larger log cabin. There appears to be a small fire, along with a little cauldron that appears to be bubbling on top. There are a few shelves, a table, some chairs, and nothing else really in this room apart from a door that leads back into the rest of the house. Nothing particularly identifying or unusual. He'll nod towards you, and you are welcome. What brings you here, if you don't mind me asking?
He looks around. He's used to someone else speaking. He's like,
Joji gives him a smile, like,
We're going to see a friend about that sword.
Oh no.
The weird one. One that your friend decided to mess with, and it decided to go ahead and create a horrible screech that completely ruined my meditation for the evening. That one.
Yeah, sorry about that. Probably should forget about that happening.
Quite.
I'll try to.
You trade meditation for conversation. Sometimes a good trade.
In this case, I would say yes. There are some people in the room that actually like to talk and could possibly be as intelligent as I am, which is lovely. Looks like even possibly more so.
Soup is pretty brilliant.
He just like looks confounded when you say that. He's like,
Well, they're
Odd
smart.
thing to say. Oh look, people that are as smart as me. It's not sure.
So
what
it
to
is
do with
just
that.
just transit
you.
then.
Thank you.
Unfortunately,
think-
yeah.
So, anywhere we could stay. For the
There's a
night?
tavern in town that has some beds. Pretty much everyone who comes through the town these days is only here for transit, so
Yeah, the transit or permanent, right? And he kind of points outside to the graveyard.
Oof.
you may stay at the tavern. They are wonderful individuals and they will look after you. He just blanks Jotra completely.
Well, thanks for the tea. What kind of stars you want to hear? We got some.
There are a few basic ones. The good thing about this being a transit town is that mercantile facilities are actually pretty good. You'll find not many, in terms of creators, we don't have a lot of blacksmiths or anything along those lines. We have some individuals that can go ahead and repair equipment, but they don't really make it. The most we have is a carpenter, really, but there are a few stores that will have traded for gold and, well, items that people have not needed anymore during their journeys.
No. I'm not good at talking. What kind of stories you want to hear?
Oh, stories. Oh. He kind of leans back. He's like, apologies, I have not met one of your kind before. I will try harder to listen. What do you think would surprise me?
Oh,
That is an answer. Not a
Don't just-
fantastic.
Joker's good at telling stories. Meriden good at telling stories. I'm not good at telling stories.
You've
Tell me
read
about
more-
that bug. The bug we ran into.
Bug.
A
Yeah,
crucifix.
you know. The yummy one.
Oh, the one you made into well, actually, isn't it good? You've read so many more stories than we have, though. I mean, you were a librarian.
He looks at you like he hates you so much right now.
Garrett's good at telling
like-
stories. You guys have been here for most of the story. She knows.
A
Coach is
kobold
just-
librarian. Interesting.
At that point, he's just gonna wink at him and be like, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So we actually we have you ever heard of a Kruthic?
Kruthic.
These giant bugs, and they have these really sharp, piercing mandibles and claws and things. And there was back from the way we came, there's a whole city that was under siege by them, and they are just they're vicious. But we had to fight one. We actually fought it in a cellar while we were resting there, and it burst up through the ground. We all had to fight it, and it ended up we got to see these super. He jumps up, he goes to the ceiling, and he fires out of the crossbow. Erin just kind of slices through it with her sword, and then I picked up I didn't have a good shot on it with anything else, so I picked up a keg, and then I used, and he kind of points to these rooms, some of these blast runes that you see here to force projection, and I just kind of launched it out there, and it hit, and as the cast exploded, so did it, and then Soup, he managed to. He has this uncanny ability to know how to make things taste amazing, and so he let loose with some seasonings and some herbs and stuff, and he made these awesome little delicious cakes out of them. They're like a crab cake, only made out of Kruthic, and they were they reminded me of one of my favorites back home, fire beetle. Sort of spicy though.
He goes ahead and flicks his finger again, and as he does so, the tea begins to refill in everyone's glasses. Just out of curiosity, this isn't nefarious, don't worry. Just out of curiosity, what is everyone's passive perception?
This isn't nefarious, don't worry, he says. It's a 16.
Not good. It's a 9. Yeah. Perception, pals.
Okay, so it'll be just Eridan then. I'd like you to make a perception check.
You just asked me for my passive perception.
Your passive perception is high enough that you would be able to make this check.
Yeah. You're the only one who knows anything is wrong.
You're the only one who knows.
16?
Okay.
It's middle of the road nonsense.
As you're going ahead and you're listening to this conversation and you're watching this new individual, and you notice as he appears to move his fingers, there's the slightest glint of light, just ever so slight, that appears to connect from his finger to the teapot. Oh.
Does this happen every time he moves shit?
As he is kind of carrying on the conversation with Jotra, you're talking a little bit more about the Kruthic and some of the other stuff that Soup has cooked, and going through a few of your adventures that you've gone through. Not too much detail, but some of the the superfluous stuff, so to speak. Every time he seems to flick his hand and something moves, you begin to notice this small glint of light.
I was just about to ask him about it. He's like, so I thought the magic was in the... How do you make your mage hand invisible?
This simply handles the levitation. As I told you, we are sorcerers.
Oh,
so we still have natural magics that we are able to use and harness. It just so happens that this one is... It's not quite it's kind of an enchantment. It's kind of not. It's a little complicated to explain. It is also related to the faith that we follow. But, yes.
Faith? What's the faith?
All gravekeepers believe in... He kind of pauses for a moment and kind of thinks and thinks and thinks.
And think some more.
You know, I'm not really sure how it would translate into common. I guess it would, for the sake of brevity, let's just call it the cycle.
My historian is tingling.
We just believe that everything happens as it should happen. And as such, people need to be celebrated. Celebrated for the wonderful things that they do in their lives. When people break that cycle, it's a sad thing. Not only can it be devastating and horrible and people do terrible things, but it is also sad. It's a day of mourning as we remember who they could have been. Remember the difference they could have made to society. Anyway, we follow the ideas of this cycle, and as such, the idea, as I've said before, that death is another step. He kind of leans back a little bit. It's more of an idea than a deity, really. It's there's not really one particular god attached to it. It's more just a concept, an idea. It seems to work rather well.
Not a religion.
Probably the most accurate, yes.
Have I heard of this?
You can definitely roll history.
This one, I'm curious. 27.
Heck, yeah. You maybe not this exact idea, but you know that as I've mentioned before, in Vacre, if you believe it, it exists. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a god or a deity attached to it to be able to gain your power. There are more abstract concepts that have gained traction and as such have kind of gained this deity-like power, let's say, without actually being attached to a god, quote unquote. This would be one of them. It's unusual, but it's not unheard of. And actually has been kind of, over the past couple of 100 years, it's been gaining some traction.
Better not tell them about your undead folks there, Jotra.
What?
I don't understand.
Makes two of them.
Yeah. He keeps a whole bunch. They're in the wagon. He keeps a whole bunch of
Oh, ha ha ha.
zombies.
I don't keep any. Just trying to make me nervous for some. Oh, it's because I wanted him to tell a story.
You watch as he looks a little concerned. He takes a sip from his glass and leans forward towards you, Jotra. And did you make a deal with these bodies? Or did you just take them without their permission?
There's no bodies in the back. So with me, I promise you, there's no bodies back there. I have no need for bodies. I build things. Like Pavasari here. He's mine. He's my buddy. I don't raise dead. I create things.
He looks down towards Pavasari.
Potato.
You built it.
Yeah.
He kind of lifts a finger, and as he does so, one of Pavasari's arms just kind of slowly lifts up, and is kind of just held there for a moment. As his head kind of tilts, and he looks underneath. And Aridin, again, you see this small sliver that appears to just be held in place for a moment before he drops his finger and it lowers down. Interesting. All right.
Do you move things like a puppeteer? Is that how you're doing it?
What was your name?
Eridan.
Astute observation, Eridan. He leans back and clicks his fingers. And as he does so, he makes his threads visible. You notice there's multiple very thin strings of what appear to be this kind of pinkish energy appear to be attached to multiple items in the room. And that is indeed my craft.
Interesting.
Weird.
Although, thank you.
Soup telling it like it is.
He goes ahead and clicks again, and as he does so, the threads disappear once again.
Like silk?
Magic.
Oh yeah.
Pure arcane energy condensed into a very fine line. Similar to silver. Difficult. It takes much concentration.
Are they always there or do they go away?
He kind of smiles and goes ahead and clicks again as the threads become visible. He then goes ahead and flexes his hand, and as he does so, the teapot drops to the ground and just kind of bounces once before settling as the threads across all of the objects he currently has under control just back to his hand.
Whoa.
That one is one I learned myself during some interesting travels when I was learning a little bit more about the world and deciding where I would settle.
So
So you-
they're always there, or you can pick what?
They are extensions of my own magic, my own arcane power. I can go ahead and pull them back or attach them at will. In fact, they control a lot of my magic. When you saw your friend as they froze, it wasn't pure magic, it was multiple strings holding him in place.
Interesting.
It's a little abstract, but it works. Works pretty well.
More strings.
I said I was a sorcerer, although it wasn't entirely the correct definition. It depends on how you look at magic. I am more of a weaver. A creator, kind of like you. Although we use very different mediums.
Soup reaches into his bag and pulls out his weaver's kit and gives him a needle. Sorry.
I like you. I like you a lot. He goes ahead and moves a finger. You feel a slight pull as the needle exits your hand, and he just goes ahead and kind of floats it around the air for a moment before resting it back in your hand. Just not that kind of weaver. Although I can sew, just not fantastically well. There are other individuals who could do it far better than I can.
What was the deity on Jotra's arm?
Within Leo.
Oh, he's kind of like the art creation
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
god. Okay.
Yeah, the
And
Within
then
Leo
Sally-
is the
Good
god of like creativity. He's like an architect. Yeah, the god of like architecture.
Architect of beauty, love, and art, an old god from before history.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sally
No god.
had no god. She
Mhm.
just sews and is a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm keeping my threads all connected
Yeah.
too.
Well, and that's why he was like, strings. He's like, interesting. You also are kind of along those same lines, and that's why he's like, here, do you use this? No. No. Okay.
This Weaver theme, though. What are you scheming?
Almost like a spider web.
I was thinking.
Hmm.
I thought when he revealed it, he was going to reveal a bunch of spiders.
Roll initiative. No, I'm kidding.
For real.
He kind of sits back just a little bit in his seat. He's relaxed a small amount since you've arrived, but not much. He's still carrying over this very formal kind of presence as he chuckles towards Soup and just, yes, not a weaver like that. More of a weaver of. He kind of pauses for a moment. He's like, I suppose weaver wasn't exactly the correct word to use. I make things too, was my point.
Where'd you learn that?
Someone I know in a faraway land. As I say, during my travels, all gravekeepers get to choose where they set up shop, so to speak. So we take over from the old gravekeeper, but that also means that we need to travel the world and find out where we would like to go. During those travels, I met an individual, and he taught me.
What's his name?
His name. He kind of chuckles for a moment.
I got it. That's what I. Okay, go ahead.
Just threw me off there. All right. Yeah, he chuckles as he looks, and he's just like, it's been a while. Windwell was his name.
What was it?
Well,
Windwell.
Oh.
Windell.
Find him in another plane, or
No. He simply was, he was a traveling entertainer who just so happened to be quite good in a fight.
It's always good to have somebody who's good in a fight.
Indeed.
what he do to entertain?
Sword juggling.
Sword
It's a lot easier when you have them all tied together.
people juggle swords.
He goes ahead and kind of pulls a section of his clothing up, and you notice there's actually what appears to be some kind of secret pocket, essentially, that's actually been woven into the shirt itself. He goes ahead and pulls what appears to be a small dagger. It's rather stylistic. It doesn't really have a hilt. It's more just the blade itself and then a small blank section, essentially, at the end. As he pulls it out, you see there's another, and another, and another, and another. As he creates this small, what is essentially a weave of blades that float in front of him, all tied by one arcane string. These blades seem to float and glimmer in place as he slowly begins to pull his hand. You watch as the blades almost begin to fold in and dance around, just in the air between each other. It's a rather interesting sight.
Fancy.
He was a lot better at it than I am. He could control, he could control entire constructs with his strings. I simply can only control these. And tug the occasional thing.
Looking outside, what time is it?
It's just at the end of dusk, so it's the sun is pretty much set at this point.
Is Ton still by the door?
You can definitely see him outside, just stationed there and looking around.
Oh my god, he's like one of those guys that's like, oh, I gotta sit in the corner of the room so I can keep an eye on all the exits. One of those.
I mean, he's military trained, so Soritas and then Paladin, so
I think Airden might. I feel like while they're all talking, I feel like she might slip away.
Okay.
And I think she might go get them all a room.
Okay. Torn is still standing outside. Notices as you're leaving, he just needed some fresh air.
Something like that. Just a lot on my mind. Did you find what you were looking for?
I haven't had the chance yet. I'll look in the morning. This individual's interesting. I've been listening.
Yeah. She looks a little distant, I guess. Did you... I think he said where we could find rooms, and I don't think I was listening.
It only appears that there is one tavern. He points to a small, well, relatively small by tavern standards anyway, a small building, only a few short minutes away, called Respite and Repose.
Yeah. You gonna stay here?
Well, if you're moving, I'd rather keep an eye on you.
She nods and heads over to the tavern. And yeah, puts money down for... How many beds are in a room?
It'll be a one-bed situation. One bed, one room. Yeah, this place is, it takes travelers, but it usually doesn't take groups of travelers.
Right.
It's usually individuals, so it's kind of just a one bed per thingy. There's a lot of rooms, but it's one
How
bed
much per room?
It'll be 3 silver per room.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So there's 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that in gold? That doesn't quite make
15
one gold.
silver. 15 silver, 1.5 gold.
Okay, so I'll pay for the rooms.
Okay. You can go ahead and get that sorted. As the conversation inside the room has come to this point where he's just messing with his weave, he'll go ahead and kind of clasp it together and place it just inside of his pocket as he says, Blade weavers, that's what they call us. People who are able to do what we are able to do.
Did he say blade weavers?
Blade weaver.
And that's Odeon.
Yep. Odion called himself a blade weaver.
How much time you got?
In the day, in my life, I'm an elf. I live for a while.
Delight.
I suppose I have a bit of time. Why?
How about this? You ain't never met somebody like me before.
Indeed, this is a first.
I ain't never met nobody like you. Maybe we trade stars.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
He is actually not bad at persuasion, surprisingly.
Well, he's always convinced Jotra to do whatever he wanted.
Is a weird kind of persuasion.
Strangely endearing.
Yeah. That is a dirty 20.
He ponders for a moment. All right. I'll take you up on that offer.
I'm gonna go to bed. You guys have fun. And he kind of nods.
He looks at you and is like,
Aridin, Torn, and Jotra, you can go ahead and get settled in your rooms for the night. Soup, what's the plan here?
Soup wants to learn as much as he can about this weird kind of magic that this guy is doing. Also, he's not very acquainted with elves, and so he's going to ask him a lot about like elven history, like his life. He finds unique types of magic extremely interesting, so he's going to like try and figure out the origin of like everything about this guy.
Okay.
Meanwhile, he's going to share as little about himself as he can, but but he'll probably tell this guy more than he's told anybody by the end of the night.
Roll a history check for me.
Okay.
I know you're good at them, but I'm still curious.
28.
28.
Is that a natural?
You're pretty good at them.
Rolled an 18.
Ooh.
Okay, so you know, out of character, Blade Weaver is a subclass of rogue.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 homebrew classes that are very closely interconnected. The College of Control Bard are the puppeteers of Vega. They are able to construct and create puppets and trap them in order to use them in combat. Those people who are slightly magical but aren't quite good enough to be able to get a full connection to be able to join the College of Control instead become blade weavers. They are very good at animating objects, and they are very good at using their blade weave as a weapon and as a distraction, but they are not particularly magically inclined.
Okay.
They have just enough of a grasp on it to be able to manipulate objects with these kind of arcane strings, but not enough that they would be able to control whole constructs, which is what the College of Control does. He, although he acts a little smarmy, he's relatively young for an elf. He is about 74 years old.
Okay.
So he is very young for an elf. He was born. He was raised by his family. He was taught about gravekeepers and about Vega as a wider world. He is definitely incredibly intelligent. He knows a lot about history, a lot about the arts, a lot about...
So they have fun conversations.
Magic as a whole. So you actually find yourself during a very large chunk of the night talking about your favorite books and authors and things because he is incredibly well read. And yeah, you find yourself learning a little bit more about him and the fact that he hasn't seen his family in a little while because obviously he's been on the job and all of this kind of thing. He's this weird mixture of sarcastic and earnest, but yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah. Is there anything specific that you would be after from Odeon? Otherwise, we can go ahead and kind of call it a long rest.
He might, after having like this kind of like long conversation with him, finding that they have a lot of similar interests, ask like to kind of trade with him, like books.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he will probably stay way too long and then realize that he's been there forever and that he really needs to go to sleep because they are going to be traveling. And so he will thank his host very much, probably give him like a small piece of the glamour weave. It's kind of a gift, maybe like the size of like a kerchief.
Looks at it curiously before tentatively accepting, as he is definitely not used to gifts.
And he goes and tries to like stumble his way through the dark. I mean, he's used to the dark, but like he's just kind of like trying to find his way to where his friends have gone because he didn't actually navigate the town. He just went to this place.
The town is super small, so you definitely are absolutely fine with going ahead and going into the tavern. It is very quiet as you step inside. Doesn't appear to be much hullabaloo. Torn has bought everyone a soft round after last night. And you can all go ahead and settle in for your long rests.
He'll check in on his folks, just kind of like peek in their rooms, make sure they're okay. Go to bed.
So...
And as long as everyone else is okay with it, I think we can go ahead and call the session there. As we go ahead and get a long rest in, you find yourselves in the town of Keen, and you have met Odeon. Wonderful. I always love it when you get to meet new NPCs. Yes, and those are 2 homebrew classes that were mentioned there. The College of Control, Puppeteer class of Bard, and the Blade Weavers, who are the They are a combat-focused rogue that is not swashbuckler.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So
They're
if any of
pretty
you have
neat.
applied to
They're
be a
pretty
part
cool.
of the game, those are some subclasses that might be open to you.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. As of the 3rd of November, oh Lord, as of the 3rd of November for me, it'll be the 2nd of November for most of y'all. This is our last casting call. So we are going to be keeping this open until the 5th of November, and then we are going to be closing applications. We are looking for both full-time members and guest members as well, for people to jump in and have some fun with our cast. Preference will be given to POC individuals, Black individuals, and LGBT plus individuals. So please bear that in mind. And if you know anybody who is an awesome role player and would like a chance to play in a regular campaign as we travel from our current level 5 all the way through to level 20, let us know and send them the casting call. It is over on the Friends Who Roll Dice Twitter, and it is over on Minded at Martyr's Twitter. Sure. Where can people find you? What are you up to? And how are you feeling?
I am very sleepy, but I am at No Tweet Sean on Twitter. You can find me, Sean the Goofy GM, Obnox Sean, etc. On Discord. You can definitely find me in the Thread Raider Discord. I'm one of the admins over at Thread Raiders. Speaking of which, here November 5th through 8th, we will be having our Extra Life fundraiser, and it's going to be awesome. So many different types of games. You need to come look at it. Not only are there games, there's also like dramatic readings of spooky short stories. Since it's so close to Halloween, it's going to be great. I'm doing one of them. I'm so excited. And we also did like a narrative telephone, and it's so funny. And I want all of you to be there, but not only to enjoy and have fun, but because we are going to be supporting local hospitals so that children can get, families really can get operations for their children, treatments for their children, free of charge. That would be lovely for you to give to. I know that everybody is strapped for cash right now because of COVID, but if you can spare anything, please stop by. And even if you can't, please stop by anyway. We love to see your smiling faces. You can find me here on Monday nights playing Soup, who I love playing. And every other Sunday you can find me on twitch.tv/SoMattyGames playing Horace Greeneye, a rather fiendish dwarven warlock. And that's me.
Wunderbar, wunderbar. Ty, same questions.
Hey everybody, Ty here. Catch me Mondays here playing Joshua Quill Sharpener, my little mind-bending moron who is amazingly brilliant and amazingly dim at the same time. It's super fun to just blabber on and speak as fast as I possibly can. Other than that, on Tuesdays you can catch me on twitch.tv/Hitchhiker of the Mind. Here, I run my own game where even, same level of battiness, only at a much more even pace. So that's pretty fun. Other than that, on Wednesdays you can catch me on Featherfall Tabletop, twitch.tv/FeatherfallTT. I play Brant Heightstagger in the Beyond Amends campaign. Only 2 episodes of that left in this current little season, so find out what happens at the end. Come and check it out. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Other than that, just some cool things in the works. Little amazing, fun, cool, awesome things. And that's kind of me for now.
Cool.
Would help if I was not muted.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm Cole. I'm super sleepy, and so much happened. There was a lot of information, and I wrote it all down. You can catch me here on Mondays, playing Aridin and You can also catch me next week where we're going to be wrapping up our Arium game due to some rescheduling issues. Make sure to get out and vote tomorrow. And there is a campaign in the works, so you should keep an eye out for that. And I'm really excited about it. And that's gonna eventually be on Tuesdays, and that's about as much as I'm gonna say about it. Okay, thanks. That's me. Bye.
And how about you, Ray? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm Ray. Thank you for joining us for this very sleepy episode of the Mind of the Martyr. Yeah, I was doing the production for the 13-hour stream yesterday, so I am sleepy as hell. But yeah, you can find me here every Monday on the Mind and the Martyr. I almost forgot the name of my own show. That's fantastic stuff. You can find me over with the wonderful people at Thread Raiders. We will be playing in a one-shot with Sean, which I'm super, super excited about. That's going to be so much fun. I am playing a Blade Singer Hexblade Warlock multi-class, which is going to be super, 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 super fun. I am very hyped for that. You can also find me, speaking of Extra Life, literally about 30 minutes later, you can find me over on Valdriant's channel, where I am DMing a game of Coriolis with some wonderful people. That's super exciting as well. Coriolis is a mysticism-based sci-fi RPG. It's super amazing. I haven't had the chance to run it yet, so this is going to be my first time. And yeah, we're going to be raising money for Extra Life in both games, so go ahead and check us out. You can also find me Saturday on Savoric's channel, where I am playing some Star Wars Exile. We are playing in the Knights of the Old Republic era. I am playing a Grey Jedi. I am loving it. My inner child is just such a Star Wars nerd. And I'm just, inner child quotations. I'm such a Star Wars nerd. There we go. That's more accurate. Yeah, I am loving the hell out of it. I love the Old Republic era. I love the people we're playing with. It's fun. So yeah, come check us out. And then every other week over on Featherfall Tabletop, we're playing Curse of Strahd. That is Sundays. I'm playing my water boy Blood Hunter, who is getting there. He's almost at 100 HP, and we're at level 7. So I'm feeling pretty awesome about that, and I'm looking at his AC just going, it needs to be more. I'm like, do I dip into heavy armor proficiency and get that extra point in constitution? I'm like, seriously thinking about it. But yeah, thank you so much for dropping in and watching and sticking around, and everyone who is watching in podcast land and YouTube land. Make sure to check out Adam Hardy VO. He does a lot of the post-production stuff for Mind of the Martyr, including the fantastic work that he does on all of our YouTube videos, which are all edited with sounds added in and sound effects and music. He does a bloody fantastic job. And if you've ended up missing anything live and you don't really want to go through Twitch VODs, well, just go ahead and jump onto YouTube, and it's all edited down, so all the important stuff is there. And the post-production stuff is fantastic. So yeah, go ahead and check that out and follow Adam. Yeah, exactly. You get to hear Sonic Soup the Hedgehog. Yeah, thank you so much.
Speed.
Super style. Damn it. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to So Nerdware. Thank you to Grinding Coffee. Thank you to Emporium. Thank you to DM Emporium. Even though you will be shutting down for a while, we're still going to hype the hell out of you. And yeah, please, keep safe, wear a mask, all of that nonsense. We are going to be going on a raid, so stick around for the credits, and we'll be going ahead and sending some love to somebody. Y'all can decide who we would like to go ahead and raid. Please look after yourselves. Please social distance. We are still in the middle of a pandemic, and I am just getting over it myself. It is horrible. I am still having breathing issues. It is freaking terrible. And considering I'm immunocompromised, I got off freaking lucky. I know a lot of people who haven't been, so please mask up, sanitize, stay safe. We have 2 people here who have had it, and another person who is in the medical profession and has to deal with this nonsense on a daily basis. So please, 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 please keep yourselves safe. Other than that, vote. Please. I am British. I cannot help. But if you are American, please go out and vote and do your civic duty. It is incredibly important, always, but especially during this election. It is incredibly important. Make sure that your right is not being infringed on. Stay safe, drink water, and keep moving forward. And we will catch you very, very soon. You take care.